Ahoy there, mateys, and welcome to the 125th voyage of the good ship Retrotopia. I am your Captain Alan, and today we are hauling anchor and setting sail for the great seas as we discuss the Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker for the Nintendo GameCube, and, Wii U, and now on the Switch 2, thanks to the GameCube Online and all of that good stuff. Just truly a classic Legend of Zelda game that deserves some love despite its somewhat tempestuous introduction to the world. Before we get into all of that, though, we need to get our plugs out the way. So if you're only here for Legend of Zelda talk, then whip out your Wind Waker and use the Song of Gales to whisk yourself off about 25 to 30 minutes down the road, and you should get into the game chat. But we encourage you to stick around because our intros are fun. We play some games, we talk to some Patreons, we answer some questions, and generally have a good time. So stick around. Now then, plugs, we have them. You want to know them. Linktree/Retrotopia, that's linktr.ee/Retrotopia is where you can find all of our social medias. You can find our merch stores, Dashery, TeePublic, whatever the fuck. And we've just got a brand new design up there, which is the Retromaniacs, the Retrotopia Animaniacs mashup design that Brian brought to life absolutely spectacularly and has now taken over as our official logo. And it is spectacular. I love it. You can also find links to our Discord where you can come and join us for a chat at any time of day because, one of the benefits of us, being across 3 separate time zones is that you can always catch one of us. So come on in and have a chat with us. You can also find our Patreon, which is free to join at the base level. You get to comment on episodes, you get to vote in polls, you get to listen to our quick play series, you get to listen to our Retro Bites Neo, Brian and Joe chatting about whatever they feel like. And lots of other good stuff that I can't think of right now. You can also, for 2 of your hard-earned American dollars, listen or join, rather. We'll get to the listening in just a moment. Hang on. You can join our hero tier of Patreon, where you get all of the above. You get the ability to pick a quick play game for the host of your choice and get them to review it for you. You get to listen to New Game Plus, where we've got episodes on Expedition 33. I think we've got Donkey Kong Bonanza coming up. I will finally be getting the long-delayed Metroid Prime 4 episode up in the not-too-distant future. It's just where we go to review some newer games that we don't get a chance to talk about on a retro gaming show. You also get a shout out in the introduction, and we have a new hero tier member this week. So a big Retrotopia thank you to Peter Brukers, who, and I hope I'm saying your name right, buddy, and if I'm not, then I apologize. Come and find me and give me a slap. But Peter Brukers is, yes, thank you very much for your support. We appreciate it, my friend. So thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoy all of your goodies. Right. Well, something that is available to all of the Patreons, no matter your level, is, of course, our comment section, known everywhere as the 9-bit banter box, and it is without a doubt the most culturally elegant section I've ever heard of. Okay, first up on the 9-bit banter box we have Brother Retro, who says, Alan the English Stallion. My son's middle name is Levias. Without looking it up, I will send you 100 jammy dodgers if you can tell me where his name is from. Hint, it is Zelda related. I love that the jammy dodger has become the de facto reward for all things Retrotopia. I love a jammy dodger. I think we have some downstairs. Maybe I'll have one after I finish recording this intro. Brother Retro, I feel like I've seen that somewhere and I can't place it, which is very embarrassing considering that I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan. I'm gonna guess Levias. Is it from Skyward Sword? I'm going to look it up because Skyward Sword is I've only ever played that game once. I know you said don't look it up, but I've already forfeited my jammy dodgers now. So, Levias. Whale like Sky Spirit. Okay, yeah, Skyward. Okay, well, I'll give myself half a jammy dodger for that one. I did not remember that, but swing and half of a hit. So I'll take that. Cool name, love it. Brilliant choice for a name there. King Hooli III says, "Hey there, Alan Boballen. You're having fast food tonight. Where are you going and what are you ordering?" Now, that's an interesting question because, you know, you said fast food, but also where are you going? So this says I'm not ordering in. So if I'm going out somewhere and I'm going to sit down, I'm going to say it would almost certainly be something Asian. Either a Chinese or a Indian or something. Does that count as fast food? I guess not, but fuck it. Something involving noodles, something like Wagamama's, and I'm going to get myself a whopping great big pad thai, absolutely drench it in chili oil, and just go to town on that son of a bitch. Because I am obsessed with noodles in all of their many forms. So that's what I'm going to... And now I'm hungry. I hope that jammy dodger fills me up. The Big Deal says, "What is the song you play at the end of episodes when you're giving the Patreon shoutouts? I can't place it and it's driving me nuts. I assume it's from some Final Fantasy game." You're close. You're not far off. The music that is at the end of the Patreon shoutouts is actually, and quite unsurprisingly, was chosen by our Lord and Master Brian there, who picked Singing Mountain from, funnily enough, Chrono Trigger on the Nintendo DS. And I didn't know this either. Brian had to tell me this. But yeah, it's from a cut dungeon from the DS soundtrack for Chrono Trigger. And basically, it's just the tune that we use. Whenever Brian's just getting a little bit tetchy, we play that tune and it mollifies him and just sends him right off to sleep. And it's adorable. He curls up in a ball down by your feet listening to that tune. And, you know, a couple of scratches behind the ear and he's anybody's. Dave McGuinness says, "Dear Alan, I know you're a fan of the old-fashioned. It's true. How do you make yours? Do you prefer a smoked or non-smoked? Inquiring minds need to know." I say that. I love that phrase. Do you know what? I am a fan of the old-fashioned. I've never actually made one myself, though, so a bit of a lame answer there. I've always had them made for me, either by a friend or, obviously, at a bar. I don't think I've ever had one smoked, but sight unseen, I'm going to say that I prefer a smoked one. Only because I generally enjoy a smoked anything. Like when it comes to whiskey, I always like the smokier whiskies, smoked meat and all of that stuff. You know, so I've never had, I don't think, a smoked old-fashioned, but I guarantee you I would prefer it. And, you know, maybe I need to actually get off my arse and actually try and make one of these things one day, because it looks fun, the process and the drinking of it. Philip My Mouth with Farts says, "Hello Alan, scenario for you. You're 12 years old. Mentally, arguably. Home from school, sick, or from inclement weather. Would you rather play the games of the 90s, SNES, NES, Genesis, or the games of today, PS5, Switch 2, Xbox Series?" Philip, I had a little think about this, and I think I'm unequivocally going to choose the games of the 90s, only because I feel like I would get more of them in. Now, if I'm off school sick, I have a limited amount of time before I'm better and have to go back to school, right? So I want to cram in as many different games as possible in that time. If I play something modern, you know, you're looking at 20 to 30 hours most times for games these days. So if I'm playing some of those Mega Drive, NES, SNES, all of that stuff, you know, I could get a lot of different games into those couple of days I'm off sick. And yeah, I think that's I'm going to go with that. That's for the nostalgia and for the variety. Good question. McFlurry, is it McFlurry XD? I'm going to go McFlurry XD, says, "Alan, have you ever played Oceanhorn, Monster of the Uncharted Seas? It's an indie game that takes quite a lot of inspiration from Wind Waker and A Link to the Past. I bought it years ago on a sale, but I've never given it a chance. Typical Steam user. If you have, what are your thoughts? If not, do you think it is something you'd be interested in? McFlurry, I had never heard of this game before. You made the sale with Wind Waker and Link to the Past, and Indie Game, quite frankly. I mean, all three of those things put together is, yeah, that has definitely got my attention. So I have no thoughts on it yet, but I went looking, and it looks like it's available on Android for free. So I might take a swing at it and play it on Android and let you know what I think, because that does sound very, very interesting. And then Unbuckled Cape says, in honor of Wind Waker being the biggest hole on my Zelda resume, I own it, just haven't gotten into it. What Zelda games haven't you played, if any, and can you quickly rank the ones you have played? There aren't many Zelda games that I haven't played. Thinking about it, we own... So, Spirit Tracks I haven't played yet. I just haven't gotten around to it. I played Phantom Hourglass, the one just before that, but I haven't got around to Spirit Tracks left. And then it's really just things like Triforce Heroes and Four Swords Adventures, which again I do own, I just haven't played them yet. It depends on whether or not you consider those to be sort of mainline Zelda games. And as for a ranking... Do you know what? Because I've played so many of them, I think that would eat up a lot of 9-bit banter box time. But you know what? If I get those other games done, how would you feel about a ranking episode somewhere down the line? Let me know if you think that's something you'd be interested in, because I think I could talk an entire episode of Legend of Zelda and give you my rankings of them. Good idea, Unbuckled Cape. I'll keep you posted. Alright, thanks everyone for writing into the 9-bit banter box. We are going to pivot and swing over to our Retrotopia game show, which is of course the brutal, the punishing, choose one, lose one.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll up and choose your power-up from the game of the week. You pick a power, we pick a consequence. It's choose one, lose one, the game where everyone's a loser.
Okay guys, give me your dreams and let me crush them for you. Brother Retro says, I want the ocean theme to play every time I get in my car and drive. What a beautiful tune. Okay, Brother Retro, you are going to hear that music whenever you get in your car, but the problem is you've taken a wrong turn and now your car is in the sea. It's the ocean theme, you fool. You have to be in the ocean for it to play. So yes, your car is now in the drink, and I rather hope it's an all-terrain vehicle. Bit like Dennis Reynolds' car that ends up in the river in Always Sunny. Ah, I love that show. But yes, you've crashed into the sea, and good luck getting your car out. Jam Sandwich Yoshi 94 says, I want Wind Waker 2 with good jumping. Okay, you can have Wind Waker 2 with good jumping, although I don't think the jumping in this, it does kind of suck. Alright, you can have Wind Waker 2 with good jumping, and I'm going to bring back the Rock's Feather from Link's Awakening. So you can have your jumping, but only while you're using that item. So you have to constantly swap in the Rock's Feather in order to jump every time you want to do it. So it's just one more item for you to think about and switch in, switch out. And given the amount that you're going to need to jump in this game, it's going to be even more annoying than controlling characters with the Wind Waker. Have fun. King Hooli III says, I want to be cel-shaded. Done. You now have to endure Perfect Cell throwing insults at you. And there's absolutely no coming back from the smoke he's bringing, because all of his shade that he's throwing at you is perfect. You're not going to feel very good about yourself after that. The Big Deal. Confession time. I've never played a 3D Zelda game in my life. I love me some top-down Zelda, but just don't care about 3D at all. Give me the ability to care enough about these games to play them. You have it. You now care enough about 3D games to play all of the 3D Zelda games. The thing is, in order for you to care about them, all of the 2D Zelda games have now been erased from time. And we all hate you for it. So great, yeah. All you've got left are the 3D Zelda games. And oh, I feel bad for myself for that one. Oh, that was gross. Dave McGuinness says grappling hook. Give me that bad boy. Oh, buddy. Okay, you now have the grappling hook. That is the punishment. You have to sit through the animation every time you use it. It is horrible to aim, and you get what you asked for. And that in itself is how you lose. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious says, I would like the ability to get criticized for my looks when I get born, but to age very well 23 years later. Done. You age very well. However, the problem with that is a newer HD version of you is released, and everyone agrees it's the superior version of you. So the you, the original you, is now mostly ignored in favor of the shiny new supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Be careful what you wish for. Wildcard says, I would love a bottle of Grandma's soup. Proof that home cooking from a nonna can cure all things. Sidebar, it can. I can speak from experience on that one. My nan's home cooking is exemplary. Done. You have one. You don't just have a bottle of Grandma's soup. You have all of the bottles of Grandma's soup, because if there's one thing you know about a nonna is that you are never going to stop eating in her presence. So that is your life now. You are just getting fed and fed and fed. You're unable to go out on a great grand adventure as you intended to, and you're just going to eat and eat and eat until you actually literally explode. Death by Grandma's soup. See if it can cure that. Sergeant Ombre says, I want to be captain of a ship with my Retrotopia friends as crew. As amazing as that sounds, Ombre, can you imagine how reckless and just unorganized that ship would be? My God, the mutinies, the chaos. You can have your Retrotopia ship, but I guarantee you that thing is going to sink about 30 yards out from dock, and we are all going to go down with the ship. I don't think between all of us put together, we could capably crew that vessel. Yeah, it's already gone. I hope you enjoyed it for the 30 seconds you had it. McFlurry XD says, I want to be able to fall from 10 stories high and be able to do a roll at the landing and not get hurt at all. Done, but it only works from exactly 10 stories high, and now every other height that you jump from is almost crippling with injury and agony. So even jumping down off of the curb is going to hurt like hell, because the only way you're immune to fall damage is from the exact height of 10 stories high. And finally, Unbuckled Cape says, I want to go into people's houses, break their stuff, take the money that falls out of that stuff, and have no repercussions. That's not the way the game works, Unbuckled Cape. There have to be repercussions. So you can do all of the above, except the only way that you get away with that shit is being the hero of legend, which means you now have to solve literally everyone's petty little side quests. And there are many, because you are now the only single most capable individual in the entire world, and everyone else is completely useless. So you are one busy, busy boy. Ah, there we go. Thanks for playing, guys. That was fun as always. But we are going to move on now to our next section, which is, of course, the Gentleman's Interlude. Gather round me, scallywags, and I'll spin you the tale of a grand adventure upon the seas. The Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker. 'Tis a bright and stormy saga, first forged by the clever shipwrights of Nintendo, and crafted by the crew at Nintendo EAD. The game first set sail upon the Nintendo GameCube in December 13th, 2002 in Japan, then drifted to the West in March 24th, 2003 in North America, and May 2nd, 2003 in Europe. Many years later, the tale was polished and recharted as The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker HD for the Wii U. Released in September 2013 in Japan, September 20th, 2013 in North America, and October 4th, 2013 in Europe. Now listen close, for the winds carry an old legend. Long ago there lived a green-clad hero named Link, sworn enemy of the dark warlord Ganondorf. When evil rose once more and no hero came to strike it down, the gods themselves flooded the kingdom of Hyrule, turning mountains into islands and fields into a boundless sea. In this watery world, a young lad named Link lives upon a quiet isle called Outset Island. On his birthday, he dons the green tunic of ancient heroes, but celebration turns to peril when a monstrous bird snatches his sister Aryll and carries her away to the dreaded Forsaken Fortress. With courage in his heart, the lad sets sail upon the great sea, guided by a magical baton known as the Wind Waker, which lets him command the winds themselves. Along the voyage, he finds allies, like the spirited pirate Tetra, and learns that the ocean hides the drowned ruins of old Hyrule below its waves. Piece by piece, he gathers the power of the gods, restores the Master Sword, and prepares to face Ganondorf once again. So there you have it, mates, a seafaring quest of wind, courage, and destiny. One of the most beloved voyages ever charted in the grand chronicles of the Legend of Zelda. Now hoist the sails, conduct the winds, and may fortune guide your ship. Okay, there we go. And goodness me, I had no idea how hard that was going to be on my throat. If you're wondering, obviously when somebody else is doing the introductions, I just record that stuff separately and they patch it in. But I am doing this live as I do this intro, and my goodness, that was hard work. But enough about me and more about the Wind Waker. So before we get into the episode itself, we love to hear what you guys think about the game. And first up, we have Brother Retro. Oh man, what a legend of a video game. I will say the HD version takes every flaw and massively improves the gameplay, but either way, it's an absolute gem. Underappreciated and still loved by many. Don't let me down, boys. Show it the love it deserves. Oh, you'll find out what we think about this game. That being said, we all played the original GameCube version because I played it on the GameCube and the boys, they played it on the Switch 2 because it's on the Nintendo Switch Online, and that is the original GameCube version as I understand it. So I have never played the HD version, but I'd like to see what all the fuss is about. Peter Brukers says, no idea how much game time I got in this. Only memory here is when I got on the boat. I was impressed about the amount of freedom I experienced. I'm the king of the world. Yes, you are, Peter. And yeah, you know, there is something about that first, when you first get outside and in your boat there, and it's just, wow, bring me that horizon. Jam Sandwich Yoshi 94 says, like the graphics of drawing outside the game, give us NSO icons, please, Nintendo. Yes, I agree. NSO icons. I'm not actually sure what that is, but I like the passion. So I'm going to agree with you, Yoshi, and hope you get the icons. King Hooli III says, the only memory I have of this game is playing it on the demo GameCube at my local grocery store when it first released. I miss those days. Great memories. King Hooli, I miss the days of the GameCube in general. Just that it was a wonderful time to be alive. Some great memories of lounging around and playing GameCube and doing very little else. So yes, if you find a way to go back, let me know and I'll go with you. Dave McGuinness says, this is one of my most favourite Zelda games. The Wii U made it even more user-friendly with the gamepad doubling as your map. This is a top 3 Zelda game in my opinion. I didn't know, and it makes sense because I've never actually touched a Wii U, but I never know that the gamepad was used as your map as well. That's really cool. What an awesome feature. I've got to pick up a Wii U at some point and just see what all the fuss was about, because I hear it's an underrated console. And finally, Unbuckled Cape says, remember the hate that this game got when it released? Just for the cel-shaded graphics? I have a friend, and I had no idea he played Zelda games until this came out, because out of nowhere, he told me how dumb it was. Crazy. Yeah, there was a bit of a controversy when this game was first announced or first demoed, and people were just losing their shit over the cel-shaded graphics. And obviously, we get into that on the episode, but it's just crazy. I mean, it's kind of humbling to know that that sort of thing was going on back then. It's even worse now. But yeah, I'll say it then and I'll say it now. The internet needs to just chill the fuck out until something is released and then see how it is when they get it. Because this game, in my opinion, has absolutely stood the test of time, and a lot of that is down to the way it looks. But before I spoil everything about our thoughts about the game, let's get into the episode proper. So thank you everyone for writing in. Thank you for joining in the fun. I really enjoy doing this intro. I always enjoy doing this intro. But we're going to talk a little bit of Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, released for the GameCube back in 2002, 2003. Whenever I said in the Gentleman's Interlude, I've done all this stuff already. So stuff a fairy in the bottle and try and figure out how to use that goddamn grappling hook. And join us on the high seas as we talk The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. Thanks for listening, guys. Enjoy the show. Alright, and we are back to talk a little bit of Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. I am the captain today. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I am the captain now. And with me, as always, with a tingle in his green tights, it's Brian. And my very own windy waker, it's Sam. How you doing, guys?
The wind is farts.
It is. I thank you for explaining that, Sam. I didn't know if that was going to come across. Definitely what I was aiming for there.
Wind waker is farting someone awake.
Yeah, Dutch oven we call it. You know, you pull the sheets over, go to town, and there you go.
Oh, we're
wow,
so
that's
sorry
some sort of
for
record.
that.
Well,
I'm
we're
sorry
off to
for that
another
right away.
glorious start.
Just
some
right
sort of
away.
record there.
Oh,
gentlemen, how
Come on, guys, take
are
this
you?
seriously.
How are you?
Well, I'm good now, I guess.
Well, you weren't windy woken up for a start.
Well,
so
I finished Wind Waker last night, so I'm happy.
good times, just in time to talk about it.
So
that's handy, because this we kind of went up to the wire on this one. We were supposed to record it. I think Brian maybe had finished it last week, but I hadn't done it, and Sam hadn't done it either. That being said, I have played this game before. I just needed a bit of a refresher. Sam, what's your history with The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker?
None. But you know what? I've always wanted to play this because I had heard that people remember it fondly. Those who had GameCubes, I did not. If I'd had a GameCube, I would definitely have had this, but Ocarina of Time was my 3D Zelda. That was my childhood Zelda, so or adolescent Zelda, I guess. I wasn't really a child, but that was my Zelda. And I had always wanted to play this, and I was even to the point before the Switch 2 and the Switch Online was announced for GameCube that I was like, man, do I pull the trigger? Do I try to find a copy and a GameCube controller and a memory card and try to play it on my Wii, my backwards compatible Wii? And it's like, man, am I glad I didn't. Is that what? That is a steep, just pricing that stuff out. That's like $200 to play this game. And I'm really happy that it's available online now.
It is crazy. I think we established that because Brian, first of all, your history with the game, of course, but I think you also played it on Switch 2 as well, right?
Yeah, I played it on Switch 2 this time, but this game was what made me buy a GameCube, because it came with the Ocarina of Time disc that had both the game and the Master Quest on it. So
Oh,
me loving collector's stuff, I had to get that. And when I bought the GameCube, it came with another Zelda collection. I can't remember what was on it, and I don't have the disc anymore. Or if I do, it's buried in my basement somewhere.
Is
I
it that
know,
Four
I
Swords
think-
one?
What's that?
No, there's Four Swords was released for it, but it's another disc that had 4 games on
No,
it. I think it was like
I've got it upstairs.
it
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think it's got number 1, number 2. It's definitely got Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on it, I think.
Damn.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Because there was 2 of them.
The thing that annoys me most about that is you talking about, because I have that exact same Wind Waker that came with the second disc, but I don't have the second disc anymore, which is really frustrating. Although, in its occupying space where that disc would have been is my copy of Twilight Princess for the GameCube, which I don't have a case for. So, it kind of works.
Oh, I like
See,
Twilight Princess.
After I was done Wind Waker, after I played it like a couple of times, I just couldn't find anything else on the GameCube that tickled my fancy because I wasn't into the Mario stuff at the time. So I ended up getting rid of my GameCube, and the only thing I kept was those 2 special discs. I never get rid of special edition stuff. And yeah, just over time they disappeared because they got lost in, like I said, the basement and all the moves I've done.
Yeah.
A bunch of stuff, like all my 3DS cases were purloined on one of our moves. Luckily, I kept all my 3DS games in a little booklet. But yeah.
Oh, some
I don't know.
asshole thought they were
I-
getting games, and they were like, "Fuck."
They took my Chrono Trigger box, which is what really pisses me
Yeah.
off.
Oh,
That would piss me off too, not having the right box for the
well,
game.
yeah. Nowadays,
But,
those things are valuable on their own. Like an empty
Sure.
box
Yeah.
might be just about as valuable as the game that's in it at this point.
Yeah, and the worst part is, you have a certain time frame to like report it missing there, and then you can get monetary compensation. And I didn't notice they were missing until I went to go like display my games again, and I went to go look for the boxes, and I couldn't find it. And I just finally realized we've moved again since, like 2 more times, and
Shit.
I was downstairs recently. We were cleaning up, and I looked through everything, and yeah, it's gone. It is fucking gone.
Gone,
I am not happy about it.
gone somewhere in the echelons of history. And I'll tell you what else.
But now, I ain't done yet. I still got
You're
time on my
treading
stories
on my
about video game
segue. Go on.
consoles. So I just want to say that I got a GameCube again now, though, because a good buddy there hit me up, and he was selling a GameCube, and he held it onto it for me for a while until I could go visit him and pick it up, and it's back. I got the GameCube back. My brother had a whole bunch of games still, and he lent me his games, so now I got a good collection of GameCube games to go through.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Something Hyrule. The premise, of course, of this game, Hyrule isn't there anymore. And instead, we are met with an endless ocean, which is a really interesting turn for the series to take. Like, what do you guys think of the premise, the setting of the Wind Waker?
Before we talk about that, can we get into the controversy that was the cell shading? Do you guys remember
Oh
that?
yeah, actually, that might have been
Like
what really didn't make me feel the need to play this very much. Was like,
Yeah.
getting the ick.
Did that happen over where you were, Alan? Everybody freaking out because they went to the very cartoony style?
I think it happened just about everywhere, Brian. It's
Okay, well, I'm not sure. I'm not in Britain right now, Alan.
more's the pity. We could be doing this sat on each other's laps.
Oh my god,
That would be
like
lovely.
a human
Yeah.
centipede of a podcast.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't like the original concept for the game a more adult orientated sort of take on the Legend of Zelda? And then what actually came out down the
Was
line
not,
was
yeah.
what we got now. No. And,
Oh, right.
looking back on it now, it's kind of dumb because I think this game has aged spectacularly because of the
Nobody
visuals.
complains about it
No,
anymore.
it looks
No, they
gorgeous and
don't.
it holds up.
You know what we have now is hindsight in that, we got, this wasn't a one and done in this style, right? You got gosh, now my mind is blanking. But
Phantom Hourglass
Phantom
is the direct
Hourglass.
sequel to
Yeah,
this.
Phantom
Yeah.
Hourglass. You got Spirit Tracks.
Mhm.
You got, what's the one for the GBA that's fucking awesome? Minish Cap. I mean, I'll use
Yeah.
this art style and the music and the motifs and everything. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's like we either needed to get used to it, but now like I have no nostalgic ties for any of the games in this art style because I didn't play them when they came out. But I mean, I loved it. It's bright, it's colorful. It is a little bit more cartoonish, I guess. Like, it's whimsical,
Yeah.
like in a way that like Twilight Princess is dark, and Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are at times kind of dark, and not that I don't like those games, but it's fun to play one that's bright and colorful and just fun.
Yeah. And I would argue that this is more true to the original style. I mean, if you look at Link to the Past, I mean, that is a far more cartoony style. Link's Awakening, even on the Game Boy, those top-down Zelda games do sort of lean more towards the more cartoony, less serious, because that's how they animated them back in the day. They did not have the technology to make it look realistic. So I kind of love the Wind Waker for carrying on that style. I think it's closer to those early games than not.
They made a really good choice to make this cartoony because it works a lot better with the sailing than like a gritty, more realistic game ever would have. Like, I mean, Assassin's Creed 4 nails the sailing and realism.
Oh, yeah.
But doing that in this game would just take away from the just charm that you get out of it.
Well,
yeah.
Also, it's such a big game. Like, this ocean is fucking massive. And it's like, and so are some of the environments. Like, do you really think that they could pull that off with like a high graphical fidelity game, or like is a more cartoony, cel-shaded, flat sort of presentation? Does that benefit and allow you to like really blow it out?
That's a great point, actually, because you could up the graphical fidelity, but you would have to shrink the map. And if you shrink the map, you kind of lose some of that joy of exploration that, I could hear an argument that perhaps the map is a little on the large side with perhaps a little too little in it. But
yeah, the problem is that every square only has like one island in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of them are really, really fucking small.
Yeah, like the ones where you find the fairies there, it's just like this tiny little island. You just jump down a hole, get your upgrade, bugger off back on the boat, and then you're sailing south for a minute to find another island.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely conveys the sense that, this ocean is all that there is. Yeah, it does
much,
impart that vastness, and it's just like, well,
yeah, and that
what is over the
that
next
goes
horizon?
back to what you're, that goes back to what you're talking about at the beginning before I rudely interrupted you for this little chat. That's the story. Is this all happens after the events of Ocarina of Time, and the hero is triumphant. And if you go through the adult era, if you look at the entire timeline,
Oh, yes.
that's where the hero of Winds, or AKA the Wind Waker timeline, takes place.
That's right.
That includes your Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, your Spirit Tracks, and all those types of games.
And I would argue also Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but I think the jury's still out on that. Because, I am obsessed with the Zelda timeline, and I know, people probably don't care. I do. I find it fascinating. So
It's
the idea here is, that this is a timeline where Link went back after the end of Ocarina of Time. So he returns to the childhood that he lost, leaving this future without a hero of time. So when Ganondorf came back, there was nobody to fight him. So when all looked lost, they just decided, they prayed to the gods for salvation, and they just said, right, well, we're just going to flood everything, get to the mountaintops, we're going to flood the entire world and keep Ganon and all of the nasties down there sealed up in Hyrule. And I love it. I think it's a great concept. It's just,
it is a cool concept.
Being so familiar with Hyrule and then just playing a game when it's just like, well, it's kind of not there anymore. So have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
cool. I did kind of like the climb the highest mountains, and those are now island things, but I really wish they used that concept for more dungeons.
Agreed.
I think that's my biggest gripe with the game, is that because you're doing the sailing so often, there's like, 4 or 5, maybe 6 dungeons you have to go through. I mean, I found 3 heart pieces in the entire game, and I had 10 hearts by the end of it. So if you start with 3, that leaves you 7 places you get a heart piece. So 7 bosses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course,
Yeah, that's true.
and there are heart pieces literally everywhere, but you have to go looking for them. I mean, they are tied down with so many little side quests, and
Yeah.
I think this game was really designed to be more about exploration and less about traditional Zelda-based dungeon. Because they're in there, but they're kind of like, well, yeah, we'll put them in there because, we know you want them, but really, look at this big sandbox we've got you to play in.
Yeah, that's kind of where...
That's where this...
Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead, Sam.
Well, I mean, to speak to the map is like, I was doing this game like a normal Zelda game in my experience, which is relatively linear. You get 3 of a gem, and then you go get 7 or 8 of a medallion, and then that you call it a day. So as I was going through in a linear fashion, I was like, I'm almost done with this game. And the map is like really not that explored, because I didn't chart it. I just was like, I'm going to the places I need to go, to advance the quest. It's like, oh shit, like that's really not the point.
And you don't even need to chart it to use the fast travel. That's the other thing as well.
That's weird. Yeah.
So there was literally no reason to chart it if you knew roughly where you're going. And since I was using a walkthrough to speed up my playthrough, I knew where I was going. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, I same thing.
Did not know that.
Charted like 2. Go on.
Well, I did not know that you could fast travel without charting the map, because I'd naturally do that anyway. I always stock up on bait and go and talk to those little fish guys that I just
they annoy me.
I find them so adorable. Just like pop out of the wall with that little
pretty funny.
And they always give you helpful tips as well about things you might be looking for, so they are well worth interacting with.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, but again, using a walkthrough kind of defeats the purpose of the fish.
I guess.
If you were playing this back at the time, like this kind of goes back to, like once the game was 3D, it's like, well, where you need to go more or less, because you either have Navi telling you where to go, or the map is very limiting. Like you can only go, here or here, so pick one, and it kind of will naturally progress. This game kind of blew it back up and was like, you can literally go anywhere on this ocean, pretty much, and whenever you talk to a fish, he's not giving you a hint necessarily for the square of the map that you're in. He's just giving you a random piece of information for somewhere else in this wide world. So
yeah,
it's almost back to this, not necessarily graph paper, like you're playing a Phantasy Star or something like that, but like at least like have a notebook out and just like write down what the fish says, because it's going to be useful later if you don't want to play this with a guide. Like that's kind of what you need to do.
Yeah,
kind of as a throwback that way.
Well, when I originally played the game, there was like I don't have the player's guide for this or anything, so it was literally exploring square by square and throwing the bait down for the fish. And honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that the sailing was so well done in the fact that it's calming, I probably would have just kind of phoned it in playing this game. But I really, really enjoyed the sailing.
Yeah, it is. It's very chill.
It is. I tell you what.
Only problem I have with the sailing is you have to use the Wind Waker to turn the wind in the proper direction, and depending where you're going or how often you have to use that stupid little wand, it gets tedious. Like in the last 2 dungeons where you have to use the control, especially the one with the bird girl, you had to pull that fucking wand out like every 10 seconds and fucking take control, and it just, God, it was bothering me.
For whatever reason, I had really struggled to get the timing down, because like on the GameCube controller, you use that little C stick to conduct the baton, and I just could not, like, kept fucking it up the first time I tried it. And I was like, if this is how this is going to be, I'm not going to play this game, because this is ridiculous. Like I could not get it timed with the meter. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I didn't have that problem after a while. I got used to it.
Yeah, I altered my controls so that the C stick would move the camera in the way I'm used to, and that actually reversed the left and right on the wand. So whatever it said, like do right, left, right, I would have to, in my mind, switch it to left, right, left.
Do you know
anything
what?
to make that camera better?
I did not realize how much that camera was fucking me up until last night. I tried to play Ghost of Tsushima,
Yeah.
and like I could not get the camera to go where I wanted to in that game because I'd become so like used to that inverted camera on Wind Waker that I was just eating shit. I was not looking where I needed to go. It was awful.
Yeah.
But I mean, like
trying to aim in this game when you're not used to the inverted controls is a pain in the ass.
I mean, trying to aim when you
trying to aim at
used to
all.
the controls. Yeah.
God, speaking of that fish, did you ever try to play that mini game where it's like he's like, shoot me with an arrow or whatever? It's like I can't.
Once.
I'm like a fucking stormtrooper
the
out there. Like I can't hit anything.
I took 3 shots at the fucker and then decided to just send the next 7 into the drink just to get it over with.
Exactly. Yes. I was just like, fuck this. And I accidentally, at one point, I think I talked to a fish on accident that I had already done the map for. And I was like trying to speed through whatever he was saying just to get the thing. And then it was like, oh, mini game. I was like, well, fuck. So I was just like, just shoot them all into the floor. Get me out of here.
Yeah. I'm not playing your stupid game.
No.
But
ugh.
Let's talk about the Wind Waker there, because it's kind of the central mechanic of the game, and every Zelda game has that central mechanic, and it's usually based around music more often than not. Obviously, we've got the ocarina that comes to mind.
All the instruments from Link's Awakening.
Yes, thank you for bailing me out there, because I literally had one thing. I was like, I fucking know there's more, but
no, there's a ton. There's always.
I put myself on the spot. But I kind of really like it as a game mechanic, even if, yeah, Brian, as you say, it does get a little bit overused from time to time, like in the late game. But there's a lot you can do with that Wind Waker. It's not just guiding the winds. Like, I thought that was really, really interesting.
Yeah, I needed to...
it's a neat mechanic. Like, I don't mind the Wind Waker as like a tool, but like if you're doing the late game stuff and you need to go from island to island and you're fast traveling, well, you're using the Wind Waker every like 2 seconds there to get to where you need to go. Like I said, the one dungeon where you have to take control of the bird girl, like every friggin' room, that gets tedious there, especially, like I said, I had the problem where I had to switch left and right in my mind, so when I looked up the directions I had to press, I could often get it backwards, and eventually I started hearing the song, so it became easier to remember which way to go. But
that's exactly what I was going to say.
All in all, though,
that is exactly what I was going to say, because it got to the point where I was just like, I would come back after a session like the next day and pick it up and start playing, and I'd instantly just be busting out these tunes. I'm just like, how the fuck do I remember that? Because I'm not consciously doing it. It's just like at this point I'm playing by ear, and I didn't know I could do that. So it does get ingrained in you.
The nice thing is, and like you have these, so when you have the Wind Waker out, which is the baton, that's what they called it. That's the name. It's not the. I always thought it was going to be the boat, but it's like the wand or the baton or whatever to conduct with. You can switch meters, so there's like a 3/4, there's a 4/4, and then like a 6/4. Where I really appreciated that the songs that you would need to, like the one that you need to change the wind is just a 3/4 meter. So it's like it's like up, left, right or whatever. And that's the quickest one. And that's the one you're going to use the most. And the only ones that were any more complex than that were the ones that like opened the wind and the earth cavern or whatever.
Yeah. It's kind of
almost
really only
you only need to play those a couple times. So
yeah, they're very, very sort of single use in that place. Get what you need to do and get done. And I quite like the tunes that they played as well.
Yeah.
I like that they keep it. I mean, you've got the one that can change the time of day, which I found really useful for some of those time sensitive sort of side quests.
Well, there's a way to get the ghost ship. Instead of chasing it around the map, you just find a spot where it's going to be, and you just keep changing the day until it shows up.
That's exactly what I did.
I saw that in the guide.
Trouble.
I lucked out. I actually landed right where the ghost ship was.
I did too.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got to go get that song so I can do the ghost ship, or else it's going to be a pain in the ass. And then I was doing something like one map square above where it happened to show up, and I was like, I'm going to go see if I can chase that thing down real quick, and then I won't have to worry about it. And it was like, brilliant. I did it.
Yeah.
Good times.
So there's lots of handy things that you can do with the Wind Waker. I mean, what about some of the other items? I mean, what is a Zelda game without the random item that you find in the dungeon that you're in that somehow is useful for killing the boss in that dungeon? I love that mechanic. Like, I kind of miss that in the newer Zelda games. I miss, like, if I can go on a bit of a tangent, I miss the old dungeon style. Go in there, find the chest. Da, 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 da. This is what you're going to kill the boss with, so pay attention. What were some of your favourite items, and what were your least favourite items, and why was it the fucking hook shot? No, not the hook shot. The grappling hook.
No.
Fuck
My favorite was the boomerang until I got the hero's bow with the fire and ice.
Oh, yeah.
I would take that boomerang there, and all I'd do was just like dummy one of the bad guys and would stun them long enough for me to hit them.
Oh, yeah.
And if they managed to become unstunned, I'd just dummy them again with the boomerang.
It was so useful for the choo-choos, especially like the electric ones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was an OP boomerang for, like, usually I'm not used to that style of boomerang. That was a good one. You threw it and it went really far. You could use it, it would lock on in a way, like even if you weren't using the targeting, it would just kind of like a little star would pop up on the thing that you were throwing it at, and you could gather a bunch of shit that way.
Yeah. You could hit like 5
the hardest
targets.
part of the boomerang or the bow and arrow for me was trying to aim those fuckers manually.
Yes.
Well, that much is true. I mean, at least with the boomerang, the times that you had to manually aim it, because you could just do a sweep and pick up like 4 or 5 targets at a time, it was a lot easier than the bow and arrow. Like aiming first person, and we'll talk about some of the bosses later on, but aiming in first person with the arrows, especially towards the end of the game, had me tearing my hair out. Yeah, if you know, you know. But yeah, I like the boomerang. I'm a big hook shot fan myself.
Yeah, the hook shot was okay. Again, it was just an aiming thing, but no point in the game did you have to like fast hook shot anything, so it was fine. That grappling hook, however, I want to shit on it for a while.
You go ahead. The floor is yours, Brian.
So I don't know if you guys remember me messaging you, but like flipping out over the grappling hook because like it needed precise aiming to get it where it needed to hit there and give you that star like Sam was saying. Same one you get with the boomerang there. And when you got it, it would wrap around, but you had to go through that 5-second animation every fucking time. And while it was going on, it wasn't a cutscene. You were still in the fucking level active. So if an enemy snuck up on you, or let's say a boss was firing something at you while that animation's going off, well, you're eating the cost of that fucking animation in your heart points, like your hearts. Yeah. And that's what started driving me nuts.
I actually found that in battle, like little cuts, just like the final boss where you have to, no spoilers or anything, but Zelda's helping you out. But there was like, whenever she would talk to you or do something, like Ganondorf was still like just kind of cruising around in the background, ready to like pop you one. It's like, stops for no one.
That's interesting, because I found it, at least with most things, maybe I just didn't notice, but I found, if you whipped out the Wind Waker or stuff like that, everything would generally pause, or the because you can also use the grappling hook to fish or fish up treasure while you're sailing around. And there are some times where you have to haul up treasure, especially later on for like the Triforce pieces and all of that stuff. Like, they are surrounded by enemies in the sea, and I found like the best way of doing that was just to get as close as you could and then instantly just throw out that grappling hook, because everything just paused while you were fishing. I was just like, right, great.
No, not for... You must be playing like a weird version, because if you're fishing with the grappling hook, I still got knocked out of the boat halfway through.
No, it's paused. I was playing the original GameCube version.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what's on the Switch Online. It's the original GameCube version, that's weird.
I had troubles with it if there were enemies just like those stupid fucking helicopter things, or those sharks. Those sharks would swarm your boat and just like ram you out of the boat. If I was trying to fish around those, I had to pause and just pull out the bow and arrow and just like go to town, just like mow everyone down, because it was just like they would just fucking speed bag you from all sides. Like, you get back in the boat and then it's like, aim your arrow and whatever, and then another one comes from the other side. It's like, you fuckers.
It's crazy.
I hate getting surrounded in
Rarely
games.
fought at sea.
Oh, it pisses me off.
No, it was so much easier to just avoid everything, right? Because for a start, you've got the bow and arrow, which is very useful. You've got the bombs, which turn into a cannon on the front of the ship.
I love that.
And I loved it in principle, but when the sharks are circling, you just can't fucking hit them.
No, I use the bow and arrow for those.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
those things are so
that
annoying.
when you first got the bombs there, and you had to blow up that wall behind your house on Onset Island.
Yep.
And you're in that whirlpool going around. It took me 3 times to actually knock the wall down because I didn't know you had to chop it from top to bottom because I was just hitting the wall.
Is that what?
And it would flash red.
Yeah, me too. Is that what the trick was? Because I got it on the second try, and it was like, okay, well, what the fuck was I doing the first time? Because I was hitting it.
You had to hit it from top to bottom.
God
you had to hit where it was flashing red in order to break those, and you had to subsequently work your way down.
Yeah.
Okay, I felt like I was going crazy.
All the while, you're going into this whirlpool, which is basically a timer because, you can't shoot from the back of the whirlpool. You have to wait until you're, like, close to the front. And then, it just, oh, God.
No, you're right.
2 times, and finally I figured it out.
I fucked that up, and obviously I've played the game before, and not all that long ago, and it's just, I was getting down to my last few bombs by the time I figured it out. And thankfully, I had just enough to get the job done. But it's just like, what the hell am I doing wrong here?
I want to shout out save states because I lived and died by save states in this game. I don't think I saved properly once.
No, I didn't either. I was like, I got the like, when I finished it, they do the thing where you save it and it's saved in like I completed the game. So like maybe some post game stuff opens up or whatever. And it was like the second time I had ever technically saved it.
Yeah.
The benefits of playing on Switch too.
But yeah, I had that problem where like I couldn't get that fucking cave open with the bombs, and it was like it sucks you into the whirlpool, spits you out back in the boat, like around back to the other side of the island, and it was like, okay, whatever, I'll go try again. It's like, oh no, I have no bombs, so I had to go find that little merchant ship, buy a bunch of bombs. I was like, you got to be kidding me. That's part of, I don't know. Well, just going quick, one thing I wanted to say about the items, which are, kind of an interesting, I don't know, observation I think I made was that there aren't that many. It like
no,
really,
I guess not.
And you don't have to rent them this time.
Oh god,
that's true.
Fucking rental. Oh. What game was that in? I forgot. Is that
was
Link Between Worlds?
Link Between Worlds. That's what it was. I mean, that was useful because it allows you to open up the game.
I liked that.
Whatever, it was fine. But the cool thing was let's say there were 5 or 6 items that you needed to. It kept it concise. It's like you weren't getting the what's a good example? The fucking windbag that you get in Skyward Sword that you use in like one place and then it's not useful for the rest of the game. Like generally the items were pretty useful throughout the game. Like there weren't that many dungeons and there weren't that many items, but I guarantee you they would find a way for you to have to get out that item and use it at least once at some point to traverse, the space.
Yeah. Yeah, very.
Now, Alan, you played with the Tingle Tuner, right?
I did. Very.
Not your Tingle Tuner.
That sounds so fucking dirty.
I'm playing with my Tingle Tuner as we speak. Yeah, I did actually dabble because I was sitting there. I was thinking because I picked up Four Sword Adventures for the GameCube, and it came with the GameCube link cable, Game Boy Advance link cable. I was just like, okay, well, I've never done this before, so let's give it a go. And I can see the benefit of it. I did find it a little bit annoying, though. I mean, you basically just have kind of a mini-map down at your feet, as it were. I was sitting on the floor, so... and every once in a while it'll ping, and our friend Tingle, which... What the fuck?
Tingle is weird.
He's a weird character, right? I mean, I kind of dig it. I mean, I did actually think this was his first game. It's not. I think Majora's Mask is the first one he turns up in.
He's like just floating around on a balloon in Majora's Mask. He's fucking weird.
It's just like
fucking weirds me out.
Very short, grown-ass man who just dresses up as a fairy and tries to convince everyone he's a fairy. But yeah, it got to the point where even though it was kind of telling me useful information about the area, I just got kind of sick of it pinging every 5 minutes as I was sailing around. It's just like, because then I have to stop and look, and if I pause the game, it actually pauses the tingle tuner as well. So I have to leave the game unpaused, look down at what I'm doing, see what he's talking about, and sometimes it's just useless shit. Well, yeah, exactly. 9 times out of 10, those fucking sharks. Like, you know what? Like, keep the enemies in the dungeons, please, or at least on the islands. Like, when I'm sailing around, I'm just here for a good time. If I'm sailing around exploring, that's what I want to be doing. Don't be throwing enemies at me, because that kind of defeats the purpose of exploring. I know you've got to have mild peril and shit like that on the go, but I just want to sail and haul up treasure. Jesus.
Yeah, the only thing,
it really would have been a better game without all the enemies in it.
It is a big empty ocean, but the one thing that I was, when I was having to like go back and forth and find the Triforce pieces, towards the end of the game, I found that you could get a good way to get rupees was to, if you saw those 2 barrels with the flags and you sailed between them, then like a barrel with a rupee would pop up, and then it turned into like a little mini course where you could like just go between those, try to hop those barrels and get rupees. And as you sequentially, as you got more and more, I think you got up to like the 10 yellow rupee, or like the yellow rupee that was worth 10. So it was a good way to make some rupees when you're like on the way, gave you something to do on the way to the next island. So I appreciated that they added stuff like that.
I honestly had no problems getting 5,000 rupees in this game. Like,
oh, no.
I barely spent it on anything because I wasn't spending it on bait. And once I upped my rupee bag to max there, it was just when I went through dungeons, it would just drop tons of rupees.
Yeah, there was no problems getting lots of, and like good rupees too. It's like in some Zelda games, like the enemies are stingy. It's like every now and then they'll drop you a green one that's worth 1, and then it's like, oh, if you're lucky you'll get a 5, and then the chests are pretty few and far between, and that's where you're the only place where you're finding like a 10 or a 20. I don't know, sometimes you'd find those little random glowing spots where you could drop the grappler.
Hated those.
Oh, did you? Well, sometimes they were the only time, the times that I found that they were a little easier to deal with was when the water, I think, was maybe a little calmer, and you had that like foam pattern. Like if you've ever, like when the ocean is a little calmer or whatever, you get that foam, and then you see the little crisscross pattern. You could kind of gauge where that glow was in the pattern and then just stop where it was. Otherwise, like if it was just like a straight blue, it was tough to find.
Because that wasn't my problem. Finding them was easy because they had that the sound that would happen when you got near it, and the sound would get louder the closer you got to the item. So it was just flipping your grappling hook either to the left or the right side of the ship.
Yeah.
My problem is every time I found one, I'd stop, drop the rope in, and it would come up with like a red rupee, and be like, well, that was a waste of my goddamn time.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's heart pieces under the water, but you need to find those charts to find the heart pieces.
Well, that's exactly it. And again, that's something that I do genuinely enjoy about this game. Because the charts you can find for like various side quests, you can buy 1 or 2 of them, you can find them in dungeons, and they will point to somewhere on the map. And what I really like is that, you'll open the chart and you'll get a picture of a bit of a random island. And then you can sort of flip to your main map and just try and figure out, well, which one of these islands does this look like, and whereabouts next to it is this X. And I liked the hunting for treasure. I liked trying to figure out where all of these chests were. And, it was a great way of picking up not only heart pieces, but also getting those rupees, because those ones that were on maps, like you could get maybe like up to 200 rupees a pop. If you looked for them all, which you need. I mean, Brian, maybe you were doing all right for money, but I was hurting by the end of the game because I was buying bait and bombs and all sorts of shit. Yeah. So those maps came in handy.
I didn't get the highest. However, you got the highest wallet. I only got the one that allowed you to. At least I got that one, because if I hadn't found that one, I would have really been in trouble.
Yeah. That's actually a bad point about this game, is because you need 398 rupees to get Tingle there to decipher the charts. You start out with a max of 200 rupees. So if you don't find that first one, which I think is on Onset Island, you don't get to finish the game.
Which is fucked. Like what a fucking con artist that little Tingle is. Like why 398 too. That's such a fucking weird
It's
number.
a weird number, and also it's just like, dude, you're trying to save the literal and actual world. Like, Jesus, I mean, what kind of fucked up war profiteering is this, Tingle?
Don't worry, you got to give this weird little pervert 400 rupees basically to look.
What's he going to spend it on? Balloons and green tights? Like, fuck you.
Yeah,
Tingle.
and he's like, and when you talk to him, when you've got the chart for him to, he's like, "Ooh, I smell it on you." Like, "Oh, you're smelling me now too, you fucking weirdo!
Like,
knock it off."
What else can you smell?
God.
Fucking pervert.
Freaking Tingle. The Tingle tuner is something that you stick up your butt, by the way, for sure. That is just
can confirm did use it. Use it. That's why after a while those constant pings started to get annoying.
Yeah. Ooh.
Did either you guys get the elixir soup for your bottles as opposed to like the potions?
Yeah.
No.
When you have to heal your grandma. You go back to the onset island.
Yeah, you have to get a fairy, heal grandma, then grandma gives you these like basically little jars of soup that absolutely fuck because they restore your health and your magic and double your attack power, and it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I just left
Nana. You need more soup.
I left Nana to her own devices. Like, admittedly,
she was sick.
I know, but
it's fucking Alan just watching her die.
I just kind of
get the house.
She was fine by the end of the game. I killed no one, but I kind of played this game on a budget because time-wise, it's like there was so much stuff to do in this game, and 95% of this game takes place above, or at least on the world map. Like, all the side quests, all the mini games, and all shit like that. You know. The vast majority is looking for heart pieces and what have you. And there was just so much stuff. I just looked at it and just like, you know what? I've done it before. I'm not going to do it this time round. Like watering all of the Deku shrubs.
Fuck. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
that one's tedious.
Or the Picto Box quest where you have to find the Firefly and take it to him and get color photos and take pictures of people. And I've done it before.
There is part of the Picto Box quest that I'm gonna fucking rip on. Like, that is so fucking dumb.
No time like the present.
Well, you know, sometimes, and this is a gripe that I have, because in general, like, the game is fine, but I think sometimes the lines blur between what is part of the main quest and what is a optional side quest, because there are times when you have to do part of an optional side quest in order to feed back into the main and progress the game, because this fucking Picto Box, and I would have missed it if I hadn't looked it up. I would have never finished the game because I would have never thought to look here. There's a point where you have to release Tingle from this prison that's on whatever the island is, Windfall
Island.
Yeah, so you go to Windfall Island, which is kind of like your Kakariko village. It's whatever. It's the town, right? So I had set Tingle free. I had found him because I was just kind of opening random doors at one point. I found him. I let him out. I was like, I'm probably going to regret this later because he looks like a pervert. But there was a box in the rear of his cell that you were supposed to slide over, and there's a tunnel, which I don't know why Tingle didn't just fucking climb through this tunnel. But it's a maze, which is infuriating because there were little rats that would drop you out the bottom. But there's a Picto Box in there, and it's like a camera. And I didn't do that. And I go later because I realized, I can't remember what it tied into, but I had to give 10 of this pennant or 20 of this pennant to this teacher. And it's like, well, you have to make the boys play hide and seek, and then you find them, and then that's how you do that. And then then you trigger the dialogue that lets you give her the pennants or whatever. It's like, I knew I needed to do that, and I knew I needed to get the boys to play hide and seek. I could not fucking get it to work. And I'm like, why aren't these motherfucking little boys playing hide and seek with me? And now I realize I sound just like Tingle. But finally, I was like, he kept mentioning this Picto Box. Like, what the fuck is this I don't give a shit about this Picto Box. Just play fucking hide and seek with me so I can give your teacher these pennants, and then I can get whatever the fuck. I think it was one of the maps. Oh, it was the deed to that stupid island.
That's right.
Epstein Island.
Which leads you
That's
to, I
what
think,
it is.
a Triforce chart.
So wait, so wait. I needed to play hide and seek with children so that I could pay someone off to give them the deed to an island in the middle of nowhere that no one else could go to that I own.
Eesh.
Sounds
It's
legit.
sounding very
Yep.
sketchy. Anyways, so finally I finally found a guide that kind of went far enough back to say, like, you need to have done this Picto Box quest. And I was like, what the fuck is this Picto Box shit? And it's like, okay, it was an optional side quest. So basically, like, if you hadn't done this random optional side quest at some point or gone back to do it, you couldn't get these boys to play hide and seek, which means you couldn't get the fucking penance to the lady to give you the deed to this island that has one of the Triforce charts on it. So it's like the game is locked behind the Picto Box quest.
See,
in a
and that's
nutshell.
really interesting because that doesn't actually factor into that quest line at all. Now, I wasn't aware that this was a thing because I just happened to have the Picto Box at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't done anything with it. I had just gotten it from the old guy. And, like...
Wait,
I
you
had-
got
I
it from
didn't
the old
take-
guy? I had to go find it.
I'm just trying to
fucker
remember.
kept
Now, did you
kicking me
call...
out of the shop.
Oh, no, hang on. No, where... No, you might be right there. I
Yeah,
remember
think
talking
Tingle
to
is
the
in
old
jail
guy.
for stealing the Picto Box, and that's like the guy when you go in the Picto Box shop, the guy's like, "Get out of here! Someone stole a Picto Box before, and I don't allow
sorry,
children
yep.
in here because this
I
weird little
apologise because
pervert
you go
stole
back.
a Picto
You
Box."
go back with it, and he says, "Oh, that's
Yes.
a fine-looking Picto Box. Come up to my room upstairs and let me show you some of my pictures." And
Jesus God, this is, this is sounding so fucking creepy.
but I don't see how that ties in at all. And I guess it comes down to the fact that, yeah, okay, like this game is encouraging you to literally explore everywhere, which is what it wants you to do. So a lot of these, yeah, you're right, a lot of these side quests, especially the Triforce charts and stuff like that, are locked behind these side quests, and you don't know which one's which. Like, I was playing through the whole game thinking, I don't think I'll bother with the ghost ship this time. But of course, there's
Nope.
a Triforce
You
chart
have
on
to.
it, which
Yep.
I had forgotten.
Yeah.
And
That's another one that was ridiculous because it's like you get the ghost ship, and if you don't put together that trick where, or maybe you didn't talk to that random dude on Windfall Island and get the song that changes the day to night or whatever, like
I didn't get the song until I found the ghost ship chart.
exactly.
Yeah.
I had the ghost ship chart, and then I found that guy, and then I read the tip that said like you could just wait on the square where the thing appears and just change night and day until it appears, and it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I guess I'll do that. I happened to get lucky and it saved me some time because it appeared near me at some point. But it's like, that's another thing where it's like, you'd be just fucking around forever trying to find this goddamn ghost ship. And then when it appears, like, how infuriating is that? Like, it appears, you warp somewhere, and by the time you sail to where the fucking ghost ship is, it's probably daytime. Like, there's not enough time to catch it. It's...
Yeah, I got
that's
really
annoying.
lucky with that because I ended up warping to Windfall, and I was like, okay, well, let me just start playing with this thing to get it to a full moon because that's what it needs to be for it to appear near me. I looked up, oh, it's a full moon already. Brilliant. So I just sailed up and there it was.
There
So I
it
just
is.
happened to luck out on that one.
See, mine was more random. I was just doing something like randomly, and I warped to the southeast side, and it was dusk. And as soon as I landed, I looked at my map, and there was the ghost ship appearing on the map at 1 square north of me. So I just switched the wind, and I fucked off for the ghost ship, and I got it. It was glorious.
I do appreciate that once you've got that chart that tells you where the ship is going to be and at what phase of the moon it needs to be, you don't have to actually look at that chart again. Like, it just starts appearing on your map, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah. I just didn't...
You know what wasn't a nice touch? And this one caught me because I thought it was in the GameCube game, but it was only in the HD for the Wii U. That is the fucking red sail would have made this game so much better.
yes.
I'm glad when they did the HD remake, they actually took the time to take the bullshitty stuff like the Triforce pieces and whittle it down to something more reasonable. Instead of fine chart, fine piece, they changed it to find 3 charts and the rest of the pieces are found where you would normally find the charts, which makes sense. But that red sail, I was in that auction house and I was talking to you guys, and one of you, I think it was Alan, "Oh, it's not in this game, mate," he says.
Very
Yeah.
British. Yeah, I do
Yeah, I
sound
was
like
like,
that.
I would have loved an upgraded sail. It sounds like the
Ye-
HD version is like really the best way to play it, and that's the one that's locked away on the
It
Wii
sounds
U.
like it.
I just
Yeah, that's
like,
kind of weird. Which it
you know what's kind of, I don't know. This is my gripe with it because like, yeah, I'm really glad that I got to experience it in its original form. You know, basically just ported on. I basically played it on a GameCube because I played it ported. The only added bonus I had was save states.
yeah.
Oh, I love those.
Which
save states.
I used to save time for sure. But I had the GameCube controller for Switch 2 and I love it. It's a cool way to play it. But I would say if I looking back now, hindsight is 2020. I was so excited when the Switch 2 was announced. I remember sitting right here in this spot watching that and messaging with you guys. I'm like, that's all I need. They are coming out with GameCube games. I'm getting to play Wind Waker, in a way that's a little bit more affordable because I'm going to buy a Switch 2 anyways. I don't have to go out and buy all this shit to play Wind Waker. This year, and we're talking about it now, 40th anniversary of Zelda, they could have done a Wind Waker HD reissue, sell it at full pop on the Switch, and I would have fucking bought it. They've left money on the table.
They
Like, that
could
is
have
the better
done
way to play this game.
literally anything. Anything aside from the nothing that
anything
they
at
did.
all. Yeah.
I would have taken a fucking HD remake or remaster of the fucking series that we covered a ways back. Like that would have been something at least.
Just give me
Fucking
Zelda. Give me Zelda 2.
excuse
Yeah, Zelda
me.
2 and the cartoon show remastered.
I jokes aside, I fucking love Zelda 2. I think that's a great game.
I haven't played it very much, but I know it's a weird game. So it's like to take the weirdest one and the weird show.
Yeah,
Give us
I would have
those.
taken that over nothing. But no,
Yeah.
it is strange, and it did sort of take me back when I was asking you guys about what version you were playing, and it makes sense because obviously it's the GameCube version. It's on GameCube Online, and like I kind of felt a bit dumb about asking, but it's just like it's kind of a weird. I get why it's on there, but it's just like why is that one on there, and you're not porting the HD version? Because I would get to the point that it's just like I was planning where I needed to go on the map, and I was just like, right, well, I'm not going to put the wind directly to that point. I'm going to sort of angle it so that I can change the wind direction as few times as possible and get as much done. It's just like maybe I needed to go.
Strategy.
Yeah, maybe I needed to go south, but also a little bit east. So I'll just southeast, and I would just like go down where I needed to go, and then go east. And you can get a fairly good headwind even if you're at like 90 degrees to it. So it's like that's good enough for me. But yeah, I agree.
Thing.
That sail would have been a lot more useful.
That sail, and then also the other thing that bothered me was like when you didn't have the sail out, there was you could hit the R button. The R trigger, and it would do like a cruise. Why the fuck are we acting like the entire ocean is a no wake zone? Like that is absolutely ridiculous how fucking slow that was. Like you can't like even to get yourself turned around, it was just like that is I'm like, am I moving? I can't even tell. Like especially when you're out in the middle of the ocean, like looking for those little glowing spots and you just need to adjust a little bit. It's like I can't even tell if I'm fucking moving. It's so fucking
I didn't
slow.
even realize you could do that until I was leaving Hyrule and I had to creep up to the portal to go back to the surface.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because how else are you going to get out of there?
The very end?
Well, no, it's just when you have to go
like
back.
the first time you go into Hyrule.
Oh, the
That's
first
it.
time. Okay.
There's no wind. So, like, Brian, you must have been confused for a minute there.
Nah, I just took like 5 seconds and looked at the controller on the top right, which, by the way, this has like probably one of the best interfaces in a game I've ever seen.
Oh, agreed.
Because the button layout is in the upper right corner, so you always know what every button does and where it is on your controller.
And where you've set
Not
your
that
items
it's like
to.
a difficult thing, but no, it said cruise, and I'm just like, I never saw it before because I never looked up there when I didn't have the sail out.
It is
So I just cruised. It took me
painfully slow. And you have to put the sail away first before you can do it. So, again, if you have the sail out and you're not moving,
but
you're not going to do anything.
If you sail and use the R trigger, you jump.
Yeah.
Which I don't know to this day what the point is of it. But if you jump while sailing with the wind behind you, you tend to like skip forward a bit faster.
The
You
jumping.
could also do hard turns.
Oh, that's true. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
jump
a
and
drift
choose
turn.
a direction. Yeah, kind of.
well, not a drift turn, but like a oh, I can't remember what
Well,
racing
you
game
are
where you use like
adrift.
a hop around, like Mario Kart. You can hop around
Yeah.
turns a little bit. The hopping is good for avoiding those sharks when they swim out ahead of you and then try to come back towards you and ram you. And then also
Ah.
the little rupee, I guess, like little mini courses that pop up throughout the ocean. I don't know what else it's good for besides that.
I will say, with regards to like the that very slow sailing thing, I can't think what it's called now, but
Cruising.
Cruising.
cruising, that's the one. I was so hopeless at lining up on a map. Like, I found that invaluable because until I remembered that that was a thing, and I was rusty as all hell starting this game up, and I was trying to line up with those X's on a map at full sail and just like cutting it short, and I would always just drift past, have to go round. And when I found out or rediscovered the
Oh,
cruise again, I was just like, I am so glad that this is so slow because I am that bad at overshooting stuff.
see, the best part about this game is if you have an item like the grappling hook or something, or the bait, and you're just like hooking it towards where you want to be, you don't hit the A button to stop. You hit the button to launch that item because it instantly stops your boat.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was
You
using that
can-
with the
you can
fishes.
And that's how I found most of the stuff. Yeah, I just like I cook right up to it full sail, and I'd be just going, and then yeah, just fucking hit the button, grappling hooks out, boat stopped.
Yep.
You know, Link's probably neck broken from
Yeah,
whiplash.
and that's
Yeah,
what
I
I was
got to
talking
the-
about with the enemies around. It's just like I was sailing, get as close as I could to that point, chuck down the grappling hook, and as soon as it grabbed something, everything would pause and nothing was attacking me. As long as I could get in there, get that grappling hook
Oh yeah,
down.
when it grabs stuff. See, I thought when you're saying when you're like putting the hook down in the
Oh
water,
no, you just
Oh.
gotta.
you can still get attacked at that time.
Oh yeah, no, you just gotta hope you're in the right place. But once you grab something, like you're good, and then you just
Oh yeah.
book it out of there, like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, there was some timing that I got down where like when I was trying to just rapid fire get those, I did end up exploring the entire map because I wanted to. There was a point where I was like, all right, I'm good on time. I want to see if I can play this as naturally as possible. I'm not just going to look up where all the charts are and where all the Triforce pieces are. I want to kind of experience this. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to go through and just kind of clean up the areas of the map I haven't explored. But I got pretty good at like, kind of just gauging where that fish was, sailing at full speed towards it, really quick Z locking on it, and then throwing the bait out. Or like, putting the sail
Oh,
away,
you didn't
stopping.
even need the Z-lock.
No,
Yeah.
just
If
look-
the fish was in like a pretty wide area,
The
you
Z-lock
could,
helped,
He would
though.
just swim up to the bait.
Yeah,
The Z-lock
I
helps
never-
because if you put
as
your
long as you
sail
just throw
away,
it out
kinda,
generally and it's close enough, like
Yeah.
you'll get the message.
and you
It's
kinda
like
put
Alan
this
when you
down
throw out a bottle of whiskey outside his house, he's coming for it.
Damn straight.
Yeah, and then he fills
Absolutely.
in your
I'll tell you,
map. Yep.
Sidebar, I would do. It wouldn't be a very good map, but sidebar, that Lagavulin 16,
Ooh.
that is a drop. That is a drop.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we covered all the sailing and everything like that. I mean, dungeons. I know there's not many of them, but are there any that particularly?
Surprisingly few.
There are surprisingly few, and there were supposed to be more. I think that when you get to the, because at one point you have to go looking for the sages, which is standard Legend of Zelda fare.
Yeah, instead of 8, there's only 2.
There was
Though.
only two.
There
I
was
like, what the
supposed to be
fuck?
there was supposed to be a third one that got cut. I guess for time or space or whatever.
Yeah.
Any particular favorite dungeons? Least favorite dungeons?
Oh, I hated the Forsaken Fortress at the beginning when you didn't have a sword. I thought
Yeah.
that was the dumbest thing ever.
That was a tough.
This is a fucking. It's a fucking Legend of Zelda game. Give the little dick a sword so you can at least fight back.
It was-
or find a sword.
That was definitely a
little
tough
dick assault.
uphill battle. Yeah, the beginning of the game actually is very slow and plotting, and that's another thing, or just like a general comment I have about these dungeons is that I think the GameCube suffers from its own. Like what were they trying to do? Like the scale was way too large, and the only examples I have right now are, the only two GameCube games I've ever played are Mario Sunshine on that 3D collection, and this. And it's like, you know what? They do the same exact fucking thing. The environment itself is way bigger than it needs to be, and so all of your trial and error, or like if you fall down and you need to climb back up, just takes so much fucking longer because it's just like well, it's this fortress, but we made it so big, see, because we have this powerful new system and we can make this, or the ocean, like, hey, look at this, we've developed this game. It's, we've got this ocean and it's cool and it's big. Look how big it is. Isn't that neat? It's like, not really, because I'm really tiny and it takes me forever to get anywhere now. And even just like running across a platform takes forever. It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah, I agree.
Just tone it down.
I didn't hate the Forsaken Fortress. I thought it was a good way of sort of establishing the early game threat and Ganondorf and who's back.
Oh, the
in
story of it's
Ganondorf
fine.
form.
It's the dungeon itself.
But yeah, I've never been a fan of like those kind of sneaking around. Some bullshit happens. You end up back here in a thing, locked up. Get out again. Go try again. Get spotted. End up back in the cell, and it's just like, all right, I get it. Can we just get to the point, please?
It's kind of like a shittier rehash of the Gerudo Fortress.
That's exactly what it is, Sam.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I hadn't even made that connection, but it is the exact same thing, except the Gerudo Fortress takes place like a good 3/4 of the way into Ocarina of Time, whereas this is just right out of the gate, which is an interesting thing to do pacing wise.
Yeah, that's why I was like, the beginning of the game really chugs until you actually get the Wind Waker and the sail, and then it's like, once you get that, it's like, okay, now you can just kind of explore and, check out this wide ocean. And I see what they were doing, where it's like you start out very small. You're from this island, you end up being absconded with these pirates, and you end up on this other island with this fortress on it, and then you end up on Windfall Island. Really is kind of where the game quote unquote starts. But it's kind of that thing where it's like you start in like Final Fantasy VII, you start in Midgar and you have this whole kind of little mini adventure there, and then it's like, oh, you step out there and there's a wide world, and that's kind of what this does, but it's just so fucking slow and, to be honest, kind of boring.
I get the idea of the Forsaken Fortresses to kind of teach you the basics of the mechanics of the game. Like, you have to swing across gaps, and you have to climb up stuff. You can sneak in barrels for some reason. There are ways it teaches you how to pick up items, or like sticks and fight and stuff like that, and press your body against the wall. So it does have its purpose. It just, like you said, it's just so boring.
Oh, I know, and you have to deactivate all those spotlights, but it's like the way that they kind of show you that is by, you have to like sidle across this like gap on this little ledge, and the spotlights are hitting you from the fucking other side of the fortress. So it's like, okay, this is impassable, and I know I need to go get that light and turn it out, but it's like, it's kind of convoluted at first how to get there, and also it's way on the other fucking side of this massive space. It's like, oh my god, it's just,
you think it would be just follow the platform round, but oh no, you have to go inside, outside, up and down.
Yep.
But that being said,
and every time you enter and exit a door, it resets the enemies.
True, true. But I do find it very satisfying when you go back to the
second time it's not as bad.
Well,
you have a sword.
Well, exactly. And now you can take your revenge for everything they put you through, because you get through the Forsaken Fortress, you've snuck through there, you've made it, you've found your sister and all the other girls that Ganondorf is kidnapping, and then you just get yeeted out of the fortress by a giant bird. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, after all of that.
Fighting that bird was fun. I liked that fight.
I was about to say, that's probably my favorite of the boss fights of this, was that bird. Especially like when you had to run up the spiral staircase to get to the top while the pillar flooded your end.
Yeah, but that's the second. That's the second time when you can actually fight him. I mean, the first time you just get.
I know the first time he's just a dick. Yeah. But you get your revenge. You skewer the little motherfucker.
That is a good fight.
And then Ganondorf gets fucking lit up on fire by the dragon, and then lives somehow
because he's Ganondorf and he's just uber powerful. I'd have to say,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, as far as like favorite and least favorite dungeons go, I mean, both my favorite and least favorite dungeon happen as part of the Sage quests, because my and I have to remember which way round they go. My favorite. Now, what was the one with Medley? Was that the
that's the bird girl, right?
That's the bird one. I thought
That's Earth
I want to
Temple.
say it's
Yes,
the
the
Earth Temple.
Yep.
I really enjoy that dungeon. Like, I don't know what it is. Whenever there's something about light and angles and reflection and all of
Mhm.
that stuff, I really enjoy like pushing blocks into the right place and lining up the lights and just trying to. I mean, I enjoyed that. There was a certain. I'm sure there was a part of Tears of the Kingdom that did that as well.
Well, there was the
Now,
Spirit
this
Temple in
is
Ocarina of Time. That's what it gave me, like Spirit Temple vibes, moving mirrors around and using the
Yeah,
mirror shield. I fucking love
I
that shit.
I love that stuff.
now the Earth Temple is the one I like the least, simply because that's the one where I'd use a control song way too often because her shield would be slightly off, or her harp, sorry, and then you'd have to like reline it up just a touch, and then you'd go back to Link there and use the mirror shield to reflect the light the other way, and it's just
Yeah,
for me that's why that one was tedious.
I understand that, and to an extent, I do agree. But then, I love the fact that you get in there and you get to that one point where there's the two beams of light, and you're just like, well, she
Yeah.
can reflect light, so I guess I know what I'm going to get in this dungeon.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna get a mirror shield. I love the mirror
Yeah,
shield.
exactly. But my least favorite by a fucking country mile was the Wind Temple.
Yes, fuck that place.
I didn't mind that one.
Oh, it's that central pillar, and you've got was it
Mhm.
Makar, the
That little fucker.
the Korok? First appearance of
Yes.
the Koroks, by the way, which is another
Yeah.
reason why I think that this is
There's
why Breath of the Wild is down this. Do you know that they're the Kokiri from Ocarina of Time?
Our Koroks?
Yeah, that's where they came
that's
from.
interesting.
So, well, because they're still in service to the Deku Tree.
Interesting.
no
Yeah.
another I'm just gonna go like a little bit sidebar here, but another thing that's the first time in the Zelda game is a Deco Leaf used as a glider.
Yeah, the glider.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come to think of it, that's kind of a proof of concept for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that. That's brilliant. I liked that item a lot. Especially when you get the wind in the right direction. Although, again, to go on another sidebar, I fucking hate it when my least favourite Heart Piece quest, trying to fly across the ocean to beat that guy's record. I don't know if any of you tried that.
No, see, what I figured
No.
was I didn't have the magic meter filled enough. I only had the halfway one.
Then there's no chance. No,
No,
chance.
then there's no chance, and then I just never went back. I was like, well, fuck that
No.
shit. Because I really didn't like, and this goes to scale again, I hated it whenever I had to try to, like, float my way into a whirlwind, because it felt like the whirlwind was where I was going, and it wasn't, or it was moving in the same direction that I was moving at the same speed, so I was
It's
never
very
catching
hard
it.
to
It was
line
just,
up
oh my
because
God.
the scale is off. But
And
yeah,
I was
no,
like,
that wind-
I was like, this thing is huge. What the fuck?
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, and that's the same thing with the Wind Temple, because
Yes.
that central column of trying to get, I mean, it's fine getting Link up there and getting where you need to go, but getting Makar up there was just a fucking ball ache, because that little bastard, when you're controlling him, he never goes where you need him to go. And I just found
He's
it
got a very
really
floaty.
I kind of found it really
No, my
poorly
favorite
designed.
part was he was locked away for more than half the level.
Sorry?
He was locked away for more than half the
Well, there's
level. He
that
was in
too.
that jail cell.
Yeah.
And you did not have to use him, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, but then at
Oh,
the
I don't
end, you're up at the top of that giant shaft, giggity, in the middle, and you activate that fan, and there was a point where, like, I needed to get him up to the top in a very
That's it.
specific spot, and I couldn't set him up there by himself because there were two enemies up there. So I had to get Link up there, fight the enemies, and then play the fucking little tune and get Makar up there. And then at one point, one of them fell back down, or they both fell back down, or I missed something. I think, you know what really pissed me off was I got to the boss door, and then I missed wherever you needed to get the key. So I had to go back
no.
all the way down. And I think it was all the way at the bottom. Where the key was at the bottom of the shaft, underneath the little, like, fan blade. There was a door.
That's right. Yep. You open
And that's
it,
where it was. Yeah, and then there was some other bullshit that I had to do to get that, and then I had to go all the way the fuck back up the shaft and then enter one of those doors to get to the bottom. I was like, this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And
It was
that's
the
again
only
where it was like,
dungeon.
Up and down the shaft.
Up and down
This-
it was the
up
only
and down the
dungeon that
shaft.
there was still a chest on my map, and it was just like, you know what, I've got the boss key.
fuck it.
I don't even
Fuck
care
it.
what's in there.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
going to be anything
it
useful.
was
Because it's
gonna
going to
be
be,
treasure
you're going to go
chest.
get that, and it's going to be one of those goddamn butterfly medallions or
The
whatever.
joy pendants, yeah.
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 Um,
It's just like, fuck
and that was
that.
that really just, that's where again the scale was just, it doesn't need to be this big. It's like this game and Mario Sunshine were both just like, let's make it big just because we can, and that's not
I think
necessarily
this
good
game
design.
felt artificially larger than it actually is because you spend so much time sailing.
That's
Yeah,
easy,
and I think that's by
also-
design rather than.
Well, yeah, obviously they're trying to make it seem like those tiny little GameCube discs hold way more information than they do.
That is exactly. It's like, look how big we can make this game on this tiny little disc.
Those discs were funky, right? I love those
Yeah.
little discs.
Those are goofy. You remember like mini discs too, when that was like kind of a thing for a minute.
Oh, I had
Right
loads
bef-
of mini discs.
Literal minute.
Right before MP3s became a thing, there were mini discs, and that
Just
you
before the
thought that's
iPod era.
kinda-
Do you remember
Yep.
everybody who bought a mini disc had tried to justify it as the next big thing?
I was
Yeah.
one of them.
Even after MP3s came out, it's like, yeah, it doesn't have the sound quality of my mini disc.
I am ashamed to admit that was me.
Oh, God.
I mean, and I suppose that brings us. I mean, before we talk about a little bit about some of the characters, because I do want to talk about some of the extras there.
I want to say one thing about one of the... It's not really a dungeon, it's just kind of a moment in the game. When you first enter Hyrule Castle there, because you have to find the Tower of the Gods, you beat the Tower of the Gods, and then you get to go down below the Tower of the Gods, and then you find the original Hyrule Castle, and then you walk out the back door, and you see this kind of, like, classic Hyrule landscape.
Yeah.
I really love that moment.
I did
That
too,
is-
and
that
I was
is
pissed
cool.
that I couldn't actually like.
I
I wanted to
know.
cross the
I
bridge.
was
I was like, oh, let me go into Hyrule, and it was like
First
nah.
time I played the game, I was like, oh my god, there's going to be a second part to this game under the ocean.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And there wasn't.
That's
Which they-
kind of
well,
why I
there
was
kind of
disappointed.
is. The kind
Well,
of is.
not barely. It's just
Kind
a
of.
final dungeon, but
I
This-
really like the
No.
fact that you get out there and you look up and you can see the surface of the ocean all the way up.
Yeah, that is kind of
And
cool.
that really was just like, wow, I'm down here. Like, I am
You know
underneath
what?
the waves. This is weird.
You know what? I kind of got the vibe, and not only just like art style and sound and some of the graphical presentation and stuff. This game really feels like the console companion to Skyward Sword. Like
Yeah.
Wind Waker is like water Skyward Sword and vice versa. Because like
Wind
in
Waker
Skyward
is
Sword, you're-
Bioshock 1 and Skyward Sword is Bioshock Infinite.
Oh, great. Oh boy.
so did anybody else have problems navigating around the Savage Labyrinth? I mean, if you're going to call it a Savage Labyrinth, maybe it shouldn't just be a room with enemies in some sort of, I don't know, labyrinth.
Oh yeah, the Savage Labyrinth was just like, I was like, oh okay, and it's just a hole in the floor with enemies.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
expecting a like some sort of dungeon you had to go down into, because one of the Triforce maps were in there, and if you go all the way to the bottom, you get a heart piece. Yay! It
Yeah, but you have to fight like 5 Dark Nuts at the same time, and fuck that. Those things just like would surround you and just absolutely speed bag me. Like,
they were easy.
I realized that there was like a, I just had trouble with them.
Your sword,
Your sword does the
well,
parry
your sword
thing.
flash.
Yeah, your sword
Yeah,
flashes.
you flashes green.
Yep.
You hit A, and then you jump over them, knock the helmet off, cut the armor off, and just ass fuck them with your sword.
Yeah, but when there's
And
like
then they
5 of
die.
them, like all on you at the same time, like I couldn't.
It does
for
get
whatever
messy.
reason I wasn't hitting the right one, and it was just like then he would do the roll and try to do his little spin attack, and then he'd get
You
just like
bounce off one of the fully
massacred.
armored ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like.
Did you
fuck
take the
this.
time to fight the old master in Outset Island there enough times to get the like hyper spin or whatever?
No, I
I'm
did
so
it
glad you
once, and he
brought
gave
that
me a
up.
rupee, and I was so fucking pissed.
I almost forgot
It's
to
after
bring
you
that
do
up.
the hit him 90 or hit him 100 times before he hits you 3 times thing. I think he gives you a special attack there.
No,
Yeah,
he gives you a
same.
rupee, and I was already full on rupees.
I think
like,
no.
fuck
There's
you.
the 100 times gets you the rupee. I think it's 300 times you get the spin, which I got but just never fucking used. And then 500 times and don't get hit 3 times, you'll get a heart piece. And I was just like, I've got enough.
They're just
I'm
like
heart pieces.
good.
I never like when they hide, and this is just goes towards games in general. Just like, oh, we're gonna give you this item that you either like you don't necessarily need it, but of course it's nice to have extra heart pieces, or you want to collect all the moons in Mario Odyssey. It's like, do this jump rope challenge 1,000 times without missing. It's like, get fucked. No one wants to sit there and do that. Are you kidding?
No.
Like, this thing...
There's people who do.
I know. I used a glitch to do it. But but you know, like this master or whatever, like I don't know, like I just don't have the desire to just sit there and try over. Not even that you would have to try over and over. It's just like you just really have to lock in and not get hit 3 times. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's not hard, it's boring, and so then my mind shuts off and I fuck it up and then I get mad. So it's like,
yeah,
no, this is...
You lose focus, and it's just like, oh, this was not worth it in the first place.
No,
the thing
it's
is,
like,
though, I mean,
heart piece.
I think I had like about halfway on the second bar's worth of hearts. I can't remember how much it was now, and I was just like, you know what? I've got a couple of fairies in my pocket. That's going to be enough to go to the final dungeon and head down into Hyrule and finally boss rush, and fight Ganon. And I mean, that last dungeon, I don't hate that last dungeon, but it's a doozy.
I dislike it quite a bit.
Well, Sam, the floor is yours this time.
Well, first of all, you have you mentioned the boss rush. I didn't mind the boss rush itself. And it is pretty typical in a Zelda game to get a Ganon's castle that has elements of all of the temples and things that you've done to that point. So that was cool, but it really did kind of highlight how short the actual main quest of this game is, that there's only 4 rooms with different bosses in it. So like, you don't have to fight the bird again. There's I don't really understand how they selected which 4 that you're fighting, but 2 of them...
Well, the one from the
temples.
Tower of Gods, he wasn't a real enemy. He was a tester of Link.
Oh, that's true.
Well, yeah, anyways, like some of the rooms to get actually, there were like a pathway. There was, traversal that kind of had elements of some of the environments that you were in previously. And the forest room was obnoxious. Just fucking ridiculous. You had to like blow the...
Oh, getting across that chasm was harder than the boss.
Yeah, that's just fucking ridiculous. So there was that. But then once you get past that point, then there is a true, like we talk about the labyrinth or whatever. This part with Ganon, to get to Ganon, is an actual labyrinth where you have to pick like those rooms with the 4 doors, and you have to pick the right one. If you fuck up, it fucks you back to the beginning. I didn't get the pattern. Like I didn't really understand what I was looking for. I thought it was just like, I noticed that the doors had like slightly darker or lighter arches, and so I was picking the ones with the darkest arches. I don't really think that was what the deal was. So I'll be honest, I saved my way through that just to save time, because I was getting really irritated getting zapped back to the beginning of it. And in these rooms, like, there's like that Phantom Ganon, and I'm just not good at that. Like, I know that it's a thing, but I'm not good at that, like fucking tennis back and forth with that energy ball. And for whatever fucking reason, like, he just was able to do it like 10 times, and it's like, it's getting faster and faster, and it's like, could you just let me have one, for fuck's sake?
Just get hit.
Yeah.
I've done enough now.
Yeah, so I did not enjoy the lead up to the final boss fight. And I really didn't like the final boss fight either, if I'm being honest. Like, that marionette can go fuck itself. That was bullshit. because Puppet Ganon sucked, because you know what you have to do a bunch of times is something that this game does fucking horribly, and that's aim the goddamn bow and arrow without Z-targeting.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
That was my grumble from earlier on.
Thank God for 99 arrows.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm really glad for that, and the bombs. Like, you could carry like a shit ton of those, but come on, seriously, like, as this, especially when it's in that worm form, as it's like, bouncing off the walls and towards you and stuff, and the only thing you can do is hit it in its ass, and it's like, I had to try to like get away from it, and I was just like firing arrows, rapid fire arrows. Like, imagine
my horror when I discovered that part of the final boss of this game is literally my least favorite boss from any Zelda game, because that is Moldorm. That is literally the form from from Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds, and that.
Oh, you talking the worm?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
love
fucking
it.
worm sucks.
Not in this game, but like in the 2D Zeldas, I fucking love that one.
I
hate
hate that.
that
He's
worm.
such a bastard. Like in Link to the Past, I always get like knocked down, and then you have to fucking start it over again. It's just annoying.
And this one's even harder because, as you say, you need to line up those light arrows to hit that little crystal ball on the back of him. And running out of arrows was not a problem, but running out of magic to use them was.
I was sitting there.
Oh,
with,
yeah,
the
that
magic.
sucked.
Yeah, and then the only way to get it are those bats are fucking annoying. It's like right when you think you have a shot, it's like then there's bats pestering you, and if you don't deal with the bats, then you can't. And then when it's in its spider form, and it drops from the ceiling, like I was able to get it. I was able to get shots off at the glowing part a couple of times, but then it's like it just doesn't present, it doesn't present its ass to you so you can like shoot it. It's like, what the fuck? I got 2 shots and I hit it twice, and I knew that it was going to be a third one that I was going to have to do. And then for whatever reason, I just couldn't fucking hit it for the longest time because it wasn't facing in the right direction when it dropped.
Sam.
And it's just like, this just sucks.
You're supposed to look down at the water. It reflects what's going on above, and you can see how he's going to land.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That
God
was
damn
really
it.
neat.
God fucking damn it.
It's like ray tracing without ray tracing.
That is pretty cool.
That was impressive for the
That's
game.
a
Well,
neat trick.
I did not catch it, so fuck.
Yeah, I can imagine that being very difficult if you didn't know that. That is awful.
There was a part of the Ganondorf fight at the end that I couldn't figure out for the longest time either. And it really pissed me
are
off.
we into like the final fight spoiler moment? Because I know Sam's gonna like this one, but you get into that final fight with Ganondorf there, and Zelda grabs a light bone. It's like, I'm gonna help you, but it's like she leaves out the part where it's like, when I feel like it.
Yeah.
She takes
So you're there, and
long
you're
to
like, I'm
knock
getting
that
ready to kick
arrow.
his ass. I got him, and she's like, I think I'll shoot the bow.
She has
in a minute.
She has a Zap Brannigan moment. Where it's like, I came as soon as I felt like it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
exactly.
And yes. So she shoots him with the arrow, but really you don't. For at least the first phase of it, you don't super need it. You can kind of just stay out of his reach, and then he does like a jump attack, and that's when like the sword will flash, and you could do like a roll and slice up the back. I found that more useful than waiting for her to decide when she wants to shoot the fucking bow. The thing that really pissed me off was the third phase of that, where she's like, okay, so he's blocking everything. Use your mirror shield and I'll like reflect the light back at him. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. The first time I was like, I had 1 heart left, and I was trying to target Ganon or whatever, and she's on the same side of Ganon as me. She fires up the bow and she just fucking shoots me with it. And I died. I was like, you bitch. Like, why would you do that? I don't understand. Zelda. Like, just such bad AI with Zelda. So I basically finally figured it out on like my 3rd try that you have to position Ganon between Zelda and yourself, and she still doesn't hit your shield every time, but still, like, when she decides that she's gonna fire that arrow, she's gonna fire that fucking arrow no matter where you are. So there were a couple times when she just like shoots me with it. Like, would you knock it off? What the fuck?
That's clearly just revenge for all the smoochies that he was trying to get. In the series. Excuse me.
Princess.
Oh, I'd fucking shoot you for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, true. No, I really like that final. I think realistically, Puppet Ganon is kind of the final boss, whereas Ganondorf is just like your aftermath there. But I mean, come on, how satisfying! And again, we're in spoiler territory, so it's fine. Like, how shocking and final is that last blow? Like, that took me back the first time around. I'll never forget that.
Oh, that little kid's a murderer.
Yeah.
Like, he just straight up fucking skull fucked.
Just stab him right in the fucking head.
Splitting fucking headache, right?
Well, that's the thing, is when you get to that phase, doing the proper parry or whatever, like, I didn't really realize what I was supposed to do. Hitting him with the arrow reflected off your shield. It was like, okay, but I didn't catch right away that you were getting that little ping from your sword to do the parry, And that's what actually triggered the final. It was really, he had one hit left, and I didn't realize it because I was like, all right, I'm stunning him. I need to like hit him with the sword, but he would recover too fast. And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And I died like 2 more times. And that's when I was like, I'm in a save state partway through. I hate having to do this, but I was like, you know what? I want to save time. I'm getting frustrated. I just want to finish this at this point. I'm going to just pop a quick save state like partway through this battle so I can just like not have to sit through all the bullshit again, to be honest. And yeah, it was like once I hit it, like, and it's not this swinging the sword button. The parry button is actually A, which is weird. Yeah, and then he just like jumps up and stabs him in the head. I was like, that was it? That was what that whole fucking thing was for? I was playing for like 20 minutes trying to like shoot arrows back at him and swing at him and stuff, and he's just being a prick and like also getting shot by Zelda friendly fire. It was just like, that's all it was.
All you had to do was turn Ganondorf into a unicorn.
Whatever, if they could have made that mechanic just like a little smoother, I think. Because really what they're trying to do is like, it's not meant to be difficult. It's meant to be that final shot, that satisfying, like, you've done the hard work. We're going to reward you with like this one shot thing that's going to look really cool. And it just fell flat. It does look cool, but like, maybe it's just me being dumb, but I was like, it took me so long to figure it out that by the time it actually worked, I was like, that's cool, but was that really fucking it? That was all I had to do was hit A at the right time, and then he would just like absolutely just impale his skull. Like, ugh, I didn't like it.
I could not disagree with you more.
Yeah,
I love it. I think it's the most epic possible ending to what up until this point has been a pretty light-hearted romp, and it's just like all of a sudden it's just like, well, let's just do some murder. There we go. Take that.
Although another spoiler is I do like that. Well, you kind of find this out already, but the ship that's been talking to you that whole time is the King of Hyrule as a boat.
Yeah, we didn't actually bring up the King of Red Sails,
the Red Lion.
The Red Lion. Yeah.
Because he's kind of your Navi, kind of your Fi, right, in this game, and undeniably better than both of them.
Oh yeah, there is a pennant that kind of like talks to you a little bit.
That's
at
true.
Some point, but it doesn't really ping that much. Like, it's really just the boat.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
I did hate trying to swim around and climb in the boat and then accidentally talking to the fucker. Like, I need to, like, I'm gonna drown. I need to get into this goddamn boat. I don't need a conversation right now.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you doing there, Link? Are you drowning? Want to talk about it?
Or
yeah,
there was one point where you had to talk to the boat, and I couldn't figure out, like, I didn't want to talk to the boat, and I was trying to get into the boat, and it wouldn't let me in until I talked to the boat, and I was like, how the fuck do you get in? So I'm looking up fucking instructions of how to get into the boat online, because I'm like, I can't be doing something wrong. And it's like, yeah, just press the A button when you're on the side of the boat. I'm like, what the fuck I'm doing? I'm like, oh, I get it.
That is exactly what happened with me with the Picto Box. Like, I'm talking to the fucking kids, and then I'm talking to the teacher, but they're not doing what I'm supposed to, whatever. Fuck.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just... I will say this is my, like, as far as characters go, I mean, we didn't really talk about, because we're getting pretty close to wrapping things up now, I think. We didn't really talk about Tetra / Zelda, right, which I really like that presentation. Because there's no secret. it's her, but,
I do
well,
too.
This game is presented as nobody knows who they are, which is right. Even Link isn't really Link. He just puts on these ceremonial clothes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden gets thrust on a quest like, Ash in Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, this is hundreds of years after what would have been the end of Ocarina of Time. So all of this is just kind of legend now. But I love Tetra and her pirate crew. I think they're hilarious. Except for that one bastard who has you doing all those rope swings over the...
Oh, the rope swing.
Oh, fuck him.
Sucks. That's another thing that pisses me off was like you do the rope swinging and I would get almost to the end and then it would like, you'd start hearing that ticking and it's like, oh my God, I gotta jump now. And then I would
do not
miss
need to panic
the platform.
right now.
Miss? Yeah. Or you're on a hot streak, you're landing on all the ropes there, and then you go to turn yourself, and you accidentally hit the let go of the rope button, and you fall to the floor,
Yep.
and you turn the game off,
Yep.
and you walk away, and you go stand outside, staring off into the distance because you are just not having it anymore.
Yeah. Feels deeply personal, Brian. Are you okay? And
I struggled with those a little bit.
yeah, I did. It's just so hard to line everything up properly and to do it to a timer as well. It's just like, give me one or the other. It's hard enough to get across. Maybe don't time
Not even
me.
a timer, a ticking sound
ticking
that gets
sound.
faster as you get closer. So you don't know how long you have. So you have to make dangerous, risky jumps.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you don't know how long you have. You just know that you don't have much time. And
Brown
then the other
trouser
thing
time.
was, yes. And the other thing is like, yeah, you hop to the next one, but you're not angled properly. So then you have to hit the button to stop the swinging and just hang down and then start swinging again in the correct direction. And getting the swinging started again takes forever. For whatever reason, he just can't get himself. He doesn't
Yeah.
have enough core strength to get himself swinging.
Was the first dungeon, the Dragon Roost dungeon there, when you first get the grappling hook,
Yeah.
there's this one part of it where you have to make a 90-degree turn to carry on when you're swinging.
Yes.
It took me forever because you cannot turn while you're swinging.
No.
You
No.
have to come to a complete fucking stop,
Yeah.
turn, aim where you want to go, and then start the swing again, which you already mentioned is a long process unto itself.
Right. There
It's
are
true.
a couple of times when like it doesn't explain that to you properly, I don't think. Where it's like you can stop
it
and
doesn't
turn
at
your
all.
yeah, you can stop and turn and that's how you change your direction. It's just like I would swing. There's a spot on like the forest island where you have to like swing onto a little like mini platform over a waterfall, and I kept fucking missing it just because like
Oh,
the angle
yeah.
was 45 degrees and I needed to be 90 degrees or whatever, and I was just like missing it. Ugh. Once I figured it out, it was fine, but it's like this is just an extra step that takes a long time. It's just
Yeah.
Oh, honestly though, I mean, we could go back and forth on this all day.
yeah.
I mean, really, the only thing left to talk about is kind of an open and shut case. I mean, has there ever been a Zelda game that had bad music?
No.
No.
And
I did like the
this-
Wind Waker theme. Like the
Oh,
when you're sailing or whatever, it's like just like a cool like
it's just
I liked all the music in the game.
all
Like,
the music. It's just perfect.
everything fit the mood perfectly.
Yep.
And when you got to Hyrule Castle, it played the Hyrule Castle song from the Link to the Past.
Yep.
Yes, yeah, especially
Mm-hmm.
during like the end scene with the king, and it's just it. I was just I got a pop out of that. Took me right
Yeah,
Yeah,
back.
that was good times.
It's
But
definitely
yeah, just
cool.
every piece of music just fits so perfectly, and it just feels so, like you say, especially when you're sailing, it's just so relaxing and chilled out. You know, when you're not being attacked. And that's another thing that pissed me off about being attacked at sea. It got rid of the music. It turned it to the sinister, spooky music. I was just like, no, I was vibing.
Right.
Leave me alone. I'm enjoying the
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, sharks fuck off. I'm listening to the wind theme or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, all the little tunes that you have to play for. Enough about your ass, Brian. We will wrap this up in just a second. Yeah, I mean, there's not much we can say about the music. It's spectacular, and it's no coincidence that it regularly features in things like the Symphony of the Goddesses and the or the concerts and what have you. It's just a great game. For all of its
Yeah.
foibles, it is an amazing game. So, let's bring this thing home. Let's bring it into dock, as it were. Brian, why don't you sum up
Yes?
your final thoughts and let us know? Slap a score on this thing. Let's do this.
Okay, well, I got a lot of good to say about this game. Yeah, there's some stuff that annoys me, but nothing in this game makes it unplayably annoying. So, the grappling hook is frustrating, to say the least. Using the Wind Waker all the time to use a control spell or change the wind direction, all that kind of stuff can be tedious. But in the end, nothing in this game makes me say I don't want to play it again. I was one of the people who really enjoyed the cartoony graphics when it came out. I thought it looked really neat, and I really do like cel shading. So this game was right up my alley. I don't know why, but I do like sailing in games. The couple I mentioned in this episode, Assassin's Creed and this game, both have great sailing mechanics. Very simple, very easy to use, and fun to do. The combat, I'm not a big fan of Ocarina of Time, even though apparently I've bought it every copy that's ever come out. I didn't like the 3D fighting in that, and I think now it's more the controller rather than the game itself. So I did find the fighting in this had a little bit of a learning curve, but once you figured it out, it was actually pretty good. And like I said, you take that boomerang and 9 out of 10 enemies, you can just walk there and stun so you can just hit them. Like, especially those hands that come out of the ground. It was absolutely something I wanted to play again. Like, I've been kind of chomping at the bit here to get this game going, because once it came out on the... Actually, it was before that. Once I got the GameCube back and my brother lent me his GameCube games, Wind Waker's in that pile, and I was going to play this game again, regardless if we did it for the show or not. But I'm glad we did it for the show, because I really did enjoy talking about this game. Like I said, the music is absolutely fantastic. The story is really good. If I had to pick one downside, it's kind of too open at times, and a lot of the quests are artificially lengthened by you having to go back and forth, and you can miss a lot of stuff you need to finish this game, especially the upgrades. Like, I had 99 bombs about minutes after I got the bombs, because when you find the tower in the middle of the entire map, right by that is the 2 fairies that give you the bombs, and they're within like viewing distance, so you know to go to them right away. Overall, I'm not going to get too long into this because I think we're running out of time. So I'm going to give this one a solid 9 out of 10. This is a top 5 Zelda game for me. Might even put it up in the top 3.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Wonderful stuff. Sam, what about you, buddy?
Oh, man. All right.
Let him have it.
You know what? I didn't enjoy this one as much. But that's not to say, like, you know how it's like pizza is pizza and it's good no matter what. Like, it's still, at the end of the day, it's still a Zelda game, and I enjoy Zelda games. So I did enjoy the game, but it's not my favorite. It's down and towards the bottom with Skyward Sword hanging out. And I think a lot of what I didn't enjoy about Skyward Sword kind of applies here also, because you have this just kind of wide empty space, and I really thought that, just kind of going back to like going underwater and going to Hyrule, like I was like, oh shit, are we going to be able to, find these temples are going to be like in Hyrule, or like, are we going to go down to the surface, quote unquote surface underwater, and kind of like have free space to kind of like roam around and explore? And it's like, no, that was really perfected in Skyward Sword. And we're not talking about Skyward Sword, so I'm going to stop talking about it, only to say that I think it's very similar to Wind Waker, and I don't really enjoy either of them. I think some of the control gripes that I have, at this point, the GameCube was kind of the next step in 3D gaming after the Nintendo 64, and they really didn't, and I can't remember, it's been a long time since I played Sunshine, but I can't remember if they really fixed the, basically you're angled a little bit. Like, it is 3D, but it's not a fluid 3D, if that makes any sense. So you are still kind of like, when you're jumping from platform to platform, you are kind of lined up a little weird sometimes, and you kind of have to realign yourself with the Z button. That was a little bit frustrating, and I kind of wish that they had fixed that a little bit. Maybe it's better in the HD version, who knows? But that was something where I was like, yeah, I know it's came out in 2001 or 2002, but it's the GameCube. Come on, like, we're still dealing with these kind of angles, but whatever, it's fine. I think the reason why it bothered me so much is just because the scale was so large, and if you fell down, you fucked up a jump, like you were climbing all the way back up, and they're not small spaces to deal with. The sailing was weird. I think I think I really had to, like, if you're going to play this game, you really have to reframe your thought process. And hopefully we didn't spoil too much if you haven't played it and you're looking forward to playing it on Switch Online. Um, don't approach this as your typical Zelda game. This really does turn the formula on its head. You're not finding, your three gems and then your 10 medallions or whatever the fuck, or your Triforce piece. You are finding Triforce pieces, but you're sailing around for them. There really are only a couple of true, like, quote unquote dungeons, and the rest really does rely on this non-linear exploration with a kind of a very thin and compressed backbone of a main quest. I don't know. I'm gonna just score it because I think I've said enough. This is definitely, like, it's funny that you guys are like 9. This is like top Zelda game for me. This is definitely one of the lower ones for me of the ones I've played. Although I'm not gonna rag on the art style. I do find the art style charming. I think if you were to ask 14-year-old me at the time that this came out, I would have been like, nah, that's dumb. It looks like it's for babies. I like my gritty, edgy shit, and that's what I was into at the time. So I probably would not have gotten on with this game at the time. But I like it now. So I am looking forward to, now that I've played Wind Waker and I have played Minish Cap, although I don't think they're technically connected. I like this art style and I like this kind of storyline enough. I love the story. I think the whole flooding of the world and trying to reset the world, or rescue this, like, sunken kingdom or whatever. That's fucking cool. Like Tetra being Zelda and the boat being the king and all that shit. Like the story is probably my favorite part of it. I would probably play it again too. Like, give me a year to kind of cool off on it, and maybe I'll pick it up again. It's on Switch Online. I could see myself playing it again and just trying with a reframed mindset, and that's where I was going. Like, if you haven't played it before, don't think of it as your typical Zelda. Think of it as, something different, and I think maybe you'll get more enjoyment out of it. Like, you're meant to take your time with it and explore. So, for as empty as it is. Right now, I would give it a 7 out of 10. It's not my favorite, but it's not a bad game. I recognize it for what it is, but it's just not my bag. So, 7. Sorry.
It's still a decent enough score. So who am I going to agree with, Sam or Brian? Spoilers, it's Brian. It's Brian all the way, baby.
I didn't expect Brian to give it this high of a score, to be honest.
I
Really?
adore this game. I adore this game. It is definitely up there as one of my favorites, because I will always be a fan of that old school Zelda style where you do have the dungeons, you do have the items, you use those items for a specific boss. And Sam made an excellent point. Like, all of the items in this game have a use for the rest of the game. You're not just getting things willy-nilly, as it were, and not using them ever again. And the fact that they are so concise means that you really get used to how all of the mechanics in the game work, and there's never really anything that you forget how to do. I love the setting. I think the getting rid of Hyrule was a huge change to the franchise there, and they do it for such a good reason. Like, it all makes sense. And I'll hear the argument that perhaps the world is slightly too big with too little in it, but to me that kind of makes it feel more like the original Legend of Zelda, where there wasn't really much going on in the world there, and you were just tasked with exploring, knowing that in every square there was going to be something to find. I think the game is stunning. I think arguably taking, like, A Link to the Past out of the equation, probably my favorite looking Zelda game. Like, I think the art style just holds up, and they were really clever to go for something like this, because it is never going to age. It's always going to look good. The characters are fun. Like, this is probably my favorite incarnation of Ganondorf. I think the guy's just so cool and, like, calm and collected in this game right up until the end. Sounds amazing, plays amazing, and we've talked about a lot of gripes with this game, and it's understandable. It is a product of its age, but I just think it has so much charm that you can see past all of its flaws and still love it for what it is, which is a game that encourages the exploration. It wants you to take your time and poke into every nook and cranny, because it all sort of factors into this rich kind of world that's been left after the destruction of Hyrule. I don't know. Sounds amazing. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to give it... I'm going to agree. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, it has a couple of little nitpicks and foibles and what have you that keep it away from a perfect 10, but it is definitely one of the best Zelda games ever made, and really kind of a template for that exploration style that would become popular with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. A trailblazer. And just, I love it. Did I say that yet?
Said.
And there we go.
Well,
I'm going to smoke now.
There you go. 9s and 7.
So, that's going to do it then, I guess. We need to wrap things up quick, because you boys, you need to be getting on with your lives. So,
it's your bedtime, young man.
It is. I do need to get into bed. And I think, because I've run out of drink, my voice is on the way out again as well. But yeah, all the jargon, I said it all in the intro about where to find us and all of that good stuff. Guys, you got anything you want to say before we wrap this thing up?
Sam's wrong. This is a 9 out of 10 game.
I would have to agree with you. And
I don't know.
It's impossible to cover everything in a game like this. So guys, if there's anything you think we missed, then come and chat with us. Join our Discord.
Yeah, we barely scratched the surface of the water.
Absolutely.
That's true,
these waters run deep. And come join our Discord, chat with us, and remember to always tingle your fuck that up. Tune your tingle into Retrotopia every week. There you go. Best I could do. Fuck you. Hi there, everyone. We here at Retrotopia couldn't do what we do without the support of our Patreons. And to that effect, we would like to shout out the heroes at our hero tier. So a huge Retrotopia thank you from all of the hosts here to Guy Who Does Things, Joe Frigger, Shadowblaze511, Dan Torma, Brian Heng, Sharkbite, Brian Spritzer, Ovindley, Shane's World, Brother Retro, H, Raging Demon, Old Man Gamer, Game Genius, Dylan Jacobson, The Big Deal, Mr. Blobbertstein, King Hooli III, Calin Hygus, Radmac, Fallen Snow Kiku, Stud Still Smash, Sergeant Ombre, Big Brown Dog, Jack Datchler, Unbuckled Cape, Wildcard, Super Dave, Sir Busts-a-Lot, Big Kid 782, David Hendley, Chris Kaplane, J Nasty 15, Because 19, Randy Berridge, Makeshift Money, and Andrew Wright. So thanks as always for your support, guys. It truly means the world to us and means we can keep doing this little thing that we love so much. Game on.